Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Thursday, May 22nd, 2025, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $sign ORION-NWSF or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got the Seattle Mariners versus the Houston Astros. First pitch is going to be here in about 3 to 4 minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. Happy Thursday, everyone. And on the thumb, on the left, making his 2025 MLB debut after having shoulder inflammation in spring training. Welcome back to the Seattle Mariners, George Kirby. And on the right, one of the best players on the Houston Astros, Jose Altuve. And a quick update, Julio Rodriguez was a healthy scratch. I'm not sure if there is an issue with him, but again, he was in the starting lineup 2 hours ago, and they just made an update about maybe 10 to 15 minutes ago. We'll get an update on the broadcast as we go on, but hopefully nothing serious with Julio and just a day off. Leading off for the Mariners at shortstop, J.P. Crawford. Batting second, DHing for the Mariners, Jorge Polanco. Batting third, catching for the Mariners, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, left fielder, Randy Arozarena. Batting fifth, playing first base, Rowdy Tellez. Batting sixth and playing center field for Julio, Leody Taveras, our MVP in that White Sox rubber match, hitting his first home run of the season. Nice job, Leody. Batting seventh, playing second base, Dylan Moore. Batting eighth, playing right field, Miles Mastrobuoni. And batting ninth, third baseman, Ben Williamson. And again, on the mound for the Mariners, it is George Kirby. Welcome back, George. Great to see you, my guy. And let's do the lineups here real quick for the Houston Astros. Leading off for the Astros at shortstop, Jeremy Pena. Batting second, playing third base, Isaac Paredes. Batting third, playing left field, Jose Altuve. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, DHing for the Astros, Yanier Diaz. Batting fifth, playing first base, Christian Walker. Batting sixth, catching today for the Astros, Victor Caratini. Batting seventh, playing center field, Jake Myers. Batting eighth, playing right field, Cam Smith. And batting ninth, playing second base, Mauricio Dubon. And on the mound for the Astros is 0-1 record, 7.88 ERA, Lance McCullers Jr. And now let's get into the action. Here with J.P. Crawford in the box. 2-0 pitch, high and outside. 3 balls and no strikes to J.P. Crawford. And hopefully we can get J.P. on with a walk here. And pitch outside and 4 straight balls to J.P. Crawford, and he goes to first. A great start here for the Mariners. Let's go, baby. Next up for the Seattle Mariners, DHing Jorge Polanco. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. We'll be shooting for 20 likes within the first hour, 30 to 50 overall, and obviously 100 in the donos on every single stream. Let's go, baby. Cole in the building, what's good? Jeremy in the building, what's good? First pitch from McCullers Jr. to Jorge Polanco, high and away. 1-0 count. 5 straight balls here from McCullers right out of the gates. I love what I'm seeing here. Let's go, Polo. And last time we ended up starting the game, kind of in similar fashion. We'll see if Polo gets walked. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking in the zone. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jorge Polanco. But in the previous matchup, we ended up having the first 2 batters walked. Julio went for a 3-run jack. I'm not sure if we'll get that same result from Cal. in the 3-hole here today, but hopefully Julio is okay and they'll have an update on him. And he was supposed to start, but they had a late minute scratch on him. Hopefully it's not injury related, just maybe a rest day. Pitch fouled off. 1 ball and 2 strikes from McCullers Jr. to Polo. 1-2 pitch. Low and at the knees with a changeup, 86 miles an hour. 2 balls and 2 strikes from McCullers Jr. to Polo. Andrea in the building. What's good? Tridents up. Go M's. Let's go, baby. And definitely the lineup is not as intimidating. You know, normally they have the big 5, but without Alex Bregman being there, being on the Red Sox, and, you know, Kyle Tucker being on the Cubs, you know, it definitely feels that we have the advantage. And a big swing and a miss. Down goes Polo, 1 away. Nice pitch to Jorge Polanco. Next up for the Mariners, catcher Big Dumper Cal Raleigh. And we'll make sure we're giving Lance his love as well. Nice punch out there on Polo. Way to bring the electricities from the Astros. Next up, Big Dumper Cal Raleigh. Let's go, baby. Top of the first, runner at first with a 4-pitch walk to J.P. Crawford. But like I was mentioning, you know, when you have Jeremy Pena and you have Jose Altuve, that's great. Yordan Alvarez is supposed to be back today or tomorrow. He's not in the lineup right now, but he may pinch hit later in the game. And then without, you know, Alex Bregman and Kyle Tucker, you know, to round off the big 5, they only have the big 3. And today it's only the big 2 with Altuve and Pena. So I really like our chances of winning, you know, 3 out of 4 in this series. You know, if everything goes right, we could sweep. Worst case scenario, you know, I really feel, you know, 2-2. I don't see the Astros beating us, you know, 3 games to 1 or them sweeping us. Our team is just too good at this point. First pitch is inside with that knuckle curve. 1-0 count to McCullers Jr. to Big Dumper. 1-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking in the zone. 1 ball and 1 strike to Cal Raleigh, who's pacing right now for 55 home runs, over 100 runs, and obviously over 100 RBIs. We'll see where he ends up falling, but he's definitely having a statistical year. And a big swing and a miss. Down goes Cal Raleigh, 2 away. Next up is left fielder Randy Arozarena. And a nice job by Lance McCullers Jr. getting another punch out there. I see you. Let's go, Randy. We're going to need someone to be able to, you know, lift the Mariners' spirits and the bats to come alive since we have no Julio Rodriguez here today. First pitch, takes a strike looking with that sinker. 0-1 count. Top of the first inning, runner at first with a 4-pitch walk from J.P. Crawford, but back-to-back strikeouts to Polo and Cal Raleigh. Let's see if Randy can get on base and we can get a little bit of a rally here in the top of the first. Pitch is high and away with that sinker. 1 ball and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. 1-1 pitch. Inside at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike from McCullers Jr. to Randy Arozarena. Let's go, baby. I was wondering why my chain was with the logo. I got to flip it around here in a second. 2-1 pitch. Inside. High and tight with that sinker at 93 miles an hour by McCullers Jr. 3 balls and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. Come on, Randy. Let's go, baby. Randy Arozarena in the box. And Lance McCullers Jr. on the mound. 0-1 record with an ERA of 7.88. So, you know, nothing intimidating on that side. We just got to be able to do what the Mariners do and just play within ourselves. 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. We should be good to go. And there we go. Randy Arozarena draws another walk. JP to second, Randy to first. Could we get something special here? We definitely need it. Next up, a guy that's due for a homer, first baseman Rowdy Tellez. And what a better way to get the game started fast and early if we can get Rowdy to get an RBI here or a big 3-run jack. Top of the first inning, walks from JP and Randy Arozarena. 2 strikeouts on Jorge Polanco and Cal Raleigh. So it's either a walk or a strikeout so far for the Mariner players. Let's see what Rowdy can do here, and hopefully he can get on base. First pitch, low and at the knees, inside with the slider, 84 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Top of the first inning, we got runners at first and second with 2 outs. Let's go M's. Captain in the building, what's good? You can help me with the likes and the donos. I'd be greatly appreciated. 1-0 pitch, in the zone, takes a strike looking. Rowdy Tellez, 1 ball and 1 strike from McCullers Jr. to Rowdy Tellez. Let's go, Rowdy. 1-1 pitch, low and away with the changeup, 87 miles an hour. 2 balls and 1 strike to Rowdy Tellez. And again, Lance McCullers, 0-1 record with an ERA of 7.88. That hasn't got anybody shaking in their boots. So we know we got some guys that, sometimes can be a little shaky, like Emerson Hancock. We'll see him tomorrow. So again, we'll see how he ends up doing. But I like this challenge that we have here with the Houston Astros here this evening. Paisley Pup says, hey, I want to come in here and hang out with Dad. Top of the first inning, runners at first and second, 2 balls and 1 strike to Rowdy Tellez. 2-1 pitch, takes a strike looking high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Rowdy Tellez. Come on, Rowdy. Appreciate you, Captain. Captain with a tenner. Appreciate you getting us off to a good start. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. We're at 10, 90 to go to hit the goal. Appreciate you, my guy. Top of the first, runners at first and second with 2 outs. It's either been strikeouts to Polo and Cal or walks to JP and Randy Arozarena, and Rowdy Tellez singles to center. Go, go, go. And JP Crawford scores. 1-0 Mariners. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Woo! I think it was that $10 dono. Good luck charm by Captain right there. Appreciate you. Way to bring the energy, and then the bats came alive right when that dono happened. Nice job. Next up, center fielder filling in for Julio Rodriguez today, Leody Taveras, who ended up being the MVP of that last rubber match against the White Sox, hitting his first home run in a Seattle Mariner uniform, and it came at the most desperate time that we needed. Let's go, Leody. And I know some Mariner fans might be a little concerned without Julio in the lineup today. Late scratch. He was in the starting lineup card early this morning, but with about 20 minutes due to first pitch. I'm not sure if it was a healthy scratch. That's what they're saying, but there might be some type of minor injury. I'm not sure if it was really going to be a rest day, because if it was a rest day, they wouldn't have initially put him in the lineup. So maybe he's dealing with a hammy or an elbow, or it's just something minor, or maybe he's got the flu, something of that nature. I imagine later in the broadcast we'll get some kind of word, but hopefully Julio will play in the next 3 games after this particular game, unless we see him pinch hit later in the matchup. But I assume if he's not starting, we're probably not going to see him until tomorrow, and hopefully he's not on the injured list. And down goes Leody Taveras, but the damage is done. 1-0 Mariners. Let's go to the bottom of the first. Reflect with a 5er. Appreciate you. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. We're at 15, 85 to go. Let's go, baby. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. You haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 20 within the first hour. 30 to 50 after that. And we have been hitting about 50 to 60, pretty regularly, and even in the 40s or high 40s as well. Let's go. And let me know what you guys want to do for photos at any time during the broadcast, and I got you. And, of course, I had to put George Kirby on the thumb going against public enemy number 1, Jose Altuve. Kirby, you're looking good, my guy. We missed you. Leading off for the Astros, shortstop Jeremy Pena. Batting second, third baseman Isaac Paredes. And batting third, left fielder Jose Altuve. So, Pena, Paredes, and we know Pena isn't public enemy number 1. That's this guy right here, Jose Altuve. But they've definitely flipped up the lineup quite a bit, this season. So Pena starting it off on deck, Isaac Paredes, and batting third, left fielder, even though he normally doesn't play this position, at least he hasn't in years past, but they're going to try him out there. in left field, Jose Altuve. And again, no Yordan Alvarez. He's been on the injured list for 10 to 15 days. So we'll find out, if we end up seeing him pinch hit later in the game. But he should, I would assume, be back maybe tomorrow. And maybe we'll have Yordan and Julio back in the lineup for, the next 3 games, which I'm at least hoping for in this 4-game set. Let's go Mariners. Judah in the building. What's good? Let's go, baby. First pitch in play to Jeremy Pena and hit by the pitch. Golly, George Kirby. We want to have him, get off to a good start, but I don't know about hitting the first guy. I know he's been in AAA with a couple rehab starts, but hitting Jeremy Pena with the first pitch, not intentional. But again, he's going to be probably a little rusty, and I highly doubt that he'll pitch 6 innings. They'll probably pull him after 4 or 5 innings, depending on how he does. But if that's a sign of what's to come, I'm a little scared. Hopefully Kirby's better than that. Next up, third baseman Isaac Paredes. Hopefully we get a little slow dribbler up the middle to JP and a throw to first to Rowdy for a double play. Let's go Mariners. First pitch to Isaac Paredes, takes a strike looking right down the pipe. 0-1 count. Let's go, baby. Oh, 0-1 pitch, takes another strike looking high and in the zone. Ahead of the count 0-2 to Isaac Paredes. There we go. George kind of settling down now. Flying Monk in the building. What's good, brother? 0-2 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Isaac Paredes from George Kirby, making his 2025 MLB debut. Had shoulder inflammation, during spring training, and it took him this long to get ready. And obviously hitting the first batter, Jeremy Pena, wasn't ideal, but looks like he's getting on track here with batter number 2, Isaac Paredes. 1-2 pitch, fouled off with the changeup. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Isaac Paredes. Let's go, George. We've missed you. And now we're only missing, Logan Gilbert. Obviously, we're not going to be seeing Ryan Bliss or Victor Robles and Luke Raley for a minute, but hopefully we can find a way to get it done. Appreciate you, Flying Monk, with the tenor. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Appreciate you, and I'll try to get that pulled up for you in between these commercial breaks as fast as I can. Shout out to Reflect, Captain, and Flying Monk for helping us out in the Dono train. And Paredes grounds out into the double play, baby. Just like I said, sometimes you got to talk it into existence. And there it is. Throw to first, 2 away. Nice double play. We got to call it. And then sometimes the sports gods will answer. Next up, after that beautiful double play that I tried to predict, and we ended up getting some nice love from the sports gods. Next up, left fielder Jose Altuve. First pitch to Altuve, takes a strike looking right down the pipe. 0-1 count. Bottom of the first, 1-0 Mariners. Obviously, a couple walks early on, a couple strikeouts, but then Rowdy Tellez getting that nice RBI to be able to get our first run early, and hopefully that won't be the only one that we get here today. Let's go, baby. Let's go, George. 0-1 pitch, low and away, in the zone. Should have been called strike, but called ball with that sinker, 97 miles an hour. 1 ball and 1 strike from Kirby to Altuve. So it looks like we'll see what kind of ump, performance that we get. Normally the umps aren't the greatest, but hopefully we don't have too many missed calls here today. And in play. And we got him, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Jose Altuve grounds out to the shortstop, throw to first, and that is it. Great job by the Seattle Mariners. End of the first inning with a 1-0 lead. Let's see who's up next here for Seattle. Next up for the Mariners, second baseman Dylan Moore. Batting second, right fielder Miles Mastrobuoni. And batting third baseman Ben Williamson. And obviously Julio Rodriguez, a late scratch in the lineup. Hopefully he's okay. There's maybe a minor injury or a cold or a flu or a bug. Let's see if I can get a couple photos in here. See what Flying Monk wants here. Let me see what I can find. And then we can get Reflect and Captain at any time as well. Let me see what I can find here. Oh, this is definitely wine country. If I can find something more sharper than that. That's not up to my standards, but let's see if we can find something else. There we go. Let's say the first one didn't convert, but that one did. Let's see if I can get you at least one more here before we get back into the action. And then in play, Demo, back. See ya. Wow, just like that. First pitch, Dylan Moore, back. See ya. 2-0 Mariners. Way to bring the electricity when I'm looking at wine country. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Hell yeah. Next up is Miles Mastrobuoni. And then I had this other picture loading for you. Appreciate you, Flying Monk. And I'll see if I can get a couple more squeezed in for you since that other one did not convert. Appreciate you. Let's go. Great start, man. And again, I'm not afraid of this team anymore. It doesn't have Alex Bregman. It doesn't have Kyle Tucker. Yordan Alvarez isn't playing. When they had the big five and when their pitching was good, it was intimidating. But I feel like we are the better team now. We should win the AL West. You know, no disrespect to the Astros, Rangers, Athletics, or Angels, but we're just the better team now. It's our time. Next up, first pitch to Miles Mastrobuoni. High and away, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking. 1 ball and 1 strike to Miles Mastrobuoni. 1-1 pitch and grounds out. Throw to first. 1 away. It's okay, Miles. We'll get you next time around. Next up, third baseman Ben Williamson. Top of the second, 2-0 Mariners. Let's go. And if you're just tuning in the top of the first, Rowdy Tellez singled to center. Crawford scored 1-0 Mariners. And then Demo homered on the first pitch here in the top of the second, making it 2-0 Seattle. First pitch to Ben Williamson, low and away with a 4-seam fastball, 1-0 count. Let's go, Big Ben. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking on the line. Could have went either way there. 1 ball and 1 strike to Big Ben. Come on, Williamson. Let's go, baby. And again, Lance McCullers Jr., 0-1 record with a 7.88 ERA. Nothing to be scared of there. 1-1 pitch, takes a strike looking low and away, painting the corner there. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. 2-0 Mariner lead. We should be able to win 3 out of 4, against this team. But again, sweeping is really tough in 3 games, let alone 4. But again, as long as we, pitch, decent and the bats come alive and we can score, 4, 5 runs or more every game, we should be good to go. Pitch is low and away on the line. Could have been called strike, but called ball. This ump is definitely not giving a whole lot, painting the corners and on the line for either Kirby or McCullers. 2-2 pitch in play. And Williamson singles to center, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go. Nice job by Big Ben. Next up is J.P. Crawford. Let's go, J.P. Top of the second with a runner at first, 2-0 Seattle. Great start for the Mariners here. Let's go, baby. First pitch to J.P. Crawford from McCullers Jr. Takes his strike swinging. Big swing and a miss with that slider, 92 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Let's go, baby. Let's start this rally. Bats are already coming alive early, and when the Mariners score runs early, we're a very dangerous team. You know, when we start early, it usually doesn't stop throughout the whole matchup. Pitches high and away with that sinker. 1 ball and 1 strike to J.P. Crawford. Let's go, J.P. Let's go, Crawdaddy. You know what to do. 1-1 pitch. Low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to J.P. Crawford. Let's go, J.P. Top of the second, runner at first, Ben Williamson, 2-0 Mariner lead. No homers yet, you know, and again, typically when the Mariners play, it's 2 different ways. It's either going to be a home run derby, you know, or it's going to be a bunch of hits that lead to a bunch of RBIs, and then eventually we get maybe 1 homer in the game, possibly 2, but the games where we homer a lot and there's not a whole lot of RBIs, you know, for hit, back to back, you know, usually we can hit 3 or 4 homers in those games, but maybe this will be one of those games where we're mashing 10 to 15 hits. Could be possible. Big swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes from McCullers Jr. to J.P. Crawford. Let's go, J.P. I mean, I definitely feel, you know, it's us, the Tigers, and the Yankees are the best 3 teams in the American League. And I don't think we really fear the Tigers or the Yankees. We respect them. We know they're good. They've beaten us up a little bit, you know, but, you know, I think that we like our chances if we had to play those teams in the playoffs. We're not afraid, you know, but the National League is much deeper, you know, than the American League with the Tigers, Mariners, and Yankees. You know, obviously they got, you know, the Mets, they got the Phillies, right? They got the Cubs. The Cardinals are getting hot. You know, and then on top of the Dodgers and the Padres and the Giants in the NL West. 2-2 pitch in play and reached on an error. Crawford saved at first by a throwing error there by third baseman. Oh my goodness, Isaac Paredes. We've been having this issue where we play teams and they have these throwing errors from their third baseman. It's not just this series, but it was in the White Sox series and a few series even beyond that. So, you know, you never want to, you know, kind of be lackluster when you're running to first. You want to make sure you're getting that effort. You never know when that ball might go over or underneath the glove to first, and you can get kind of a freebie single. Next up is DHing Jorge Polanco. First pitch with the knuckle curve, fouled off right down the middle. 0-1 count. Top of the second, runners at first and second and 1 out. This could be something special here in this inning. We could add on another. Let's go. 0-1 pitch. Fouled off again with that knuckle curve, 81 miles an hour. Behind in the count now, 0-2 for Lance McCullers Jr. to Jorge Polanco. Let's go, Polo. You're due for a homer. Let's get it, baby. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Shooting for 20 likes within the first hour, 50 overall, and 100 in the donos on every single stream. Let's go, baby. Trident's up. Pitches high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from McCullers Jr. to Polo. Let's go, Polo. Let's get it in gear, baby. With 1 swing, it could be 5-0. Astro fans would be punching the air real quick if they haven't already. 1-2 pitch. Low and away with that knuckle curve again. A mix of knuckle curves and cutters here for Lance McCullers Jr. against Polo. 2 balls and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 1 out. A good opportunity to get at least 1 more run this particular inning. Let's go. And Polo, big swing and a miss, and he strikes out swinging, 2 away. Next up, 0 for 1 with a K, catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Let's go, Cal. Especially with no Julio Rodriguez in the lineup, a late scratch before the game started. Maybe we can get some magic here by our guy, the face of the Mariners, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. pacing for 55 home runs, 120 ribbies, and 100 runs scored. We'll find out how close he ends up getting, to those numbers. I mean, normally a guy hitting 30 to 35 homers, he is the best catcher in baseball. But again, off to this freakishly crazy start, hitting up numbers like Ohtani and Judge. It's crazy to think we have our own version of Ohtani and Judge now. Torpedo bat is working. He's a great switch hitter. He's a great leader. And the best part about Cal Raleigh, he's a great human being, on and off the field. And that's something that we can be proud about, being Seattle Mariner fans. First pitch is low and at the knees. Big swing and a miss by Big Dumper. 0-1 count. And you can definitely tell McCullers is not trying to paint it right down the middle. He's trying to jam the hitters, low and inside and seeing if they'll bait. And he's been pitching, half of the lineup so far that particular way. We'll see if it continues. 0-1 pitch, fouled off in the zone with the slider this time around, 84 miles an hour, behind in the count now 0-2. Come on, Cal. Let's see if we can get some magic here. But winning the division, this year definitely should be possible for whatever reason. If we hit a wall and we have injuries and we have to get second place and the Astros or the Rangers or the Athletics win the division, so be it. I still think that will be very dangerous in the playoffs. And down goes Big Dumper. Big swing and a miss, and that's going to be the end of the Mariners in the top of the second. Let's go to the bottom of the second inning with a 2-0 lead. But I feel that, with the Tigers and the Yankees and the Mariners, there's a chance, that the Mariners not only could win the AL West, we could make it to the ALDS. Who knows? Maybe we make it to the ALCS, and it is possible. We're good enough this year, for the very first time since 2001, where you can say we're good enough to make the World Series this year. And again, this is like, just the beginning stages of Julio and Cal and Logan Gilbert and George Kirby and Brian Wu. So just think what could be, potentially happening to this franchise, the next 15 to 20 years. There could be a chance where in 20 years, maybe we make 2 or 3 World Series. Not to say that we would win every time that we would get there. We probably would lose the first time that we got there, maybe in 5 games or in 6 games where we only win 1 or 2. But just the thought, as the only professional baseball team to never been in a World Series, and with a team this good, we can maybe check that off, the Mariner box at some point, and hopefully it's this year. I would love to make the World Series, but first we got to, win the division, and then we can go baby steps the rest of the way. Let's go to the bottom of the second inning and see who's next up for the Astros. Next up for the Astros in the 4-hole, DHing Yanier Diaz. Batting 5th on deck, first baseman Christian Walker. And in the 6-hole, catcher Victor Caratini. 2-0 Mariners. And anything that you want to be able to see photo-wise, reflect and captain, let me know, and I got you. And if you're just tuning in the top of the first inning, Rowdy Tellez singled to center. Crawford scored 1-0 Mariners. And then the top of the second, first pitch to Demo. He says, see ya! And hits a solo jack 413 feet, making it a 2-0 lead. Let's go Mariners. Great start. But again, I don't think that we're really intimidated by this team anymore. No Kyle Tucker, no Alex Bregman. And on top of that, you don't even have Yordan Alvarez playing. So again, they went from a big 5 to a big 2. They still got Pena and Altuve, but again, not the same type of team that they had in years past. First pitch takes a strike, looking high and away from Kirby to Diaz. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, high and away. Should have been called ball, but called strike because he had a big swing and a miss. Shouldn't have swung at that, Diaz. Would have been 1-1. Now it's 0-2. Let's go for the punch out here, George. 0-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Got him, baby. That's the George Kirby that I've been waiting to see. Let's go. Nice punch out by George Kirby. Next up, in the 5-hole, first baseman, Christian Walker. Smoke him. Let's go. Kirby photos, I got you. First pitch from George Kirby. High and away. And you got to think, 1-0 count with that sinker, 97 miles an hour. Like the number one thing that George needed today, obviously is run support. So that way, if he was a little bit shaky, that at least he can have that swagger and confidence and get back to the player that he was before he got hurt. Now, it wasn't ideal hitting Jeremy Pena, the first batter. That could have been really bad, but he settled in after that, first, batter that he plunked, and wasn't intentional. Obviously, George is not dirty, and we'll see where it goes here the rest of the way. But so far, so good. 1-1 pitch. High and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to Christian Walker with a nice 2-0 early lead for the Mariners. Julio was an early scratch. Obviously, on social media, he was a part of the post that they usually put out for the Seattle Mariners. But about 20 minutes before first pitch, they scratched him from the lineup. Not sure if it's due to an illness or an injury, but we should get an update hopefully a little bit later in the broadcast, or later tonight or tomorrow morning. And a nice lined out. There we go, 2 away. We like that, baby. Down goes Christian Walker, lining out to left. Next up, in the 6th hole, catcher Victor Caratini. Bottom of the 2nd, 2-0 Mariners. First pitch from Kirby to Caratini, fouled off. 0-1 count. Appreciate you, Captain. 8 more likes to 30. Let's get there, baby. I mean, we've been able to get 50 to 60 pretty regularly now, and we're hitting over 1,000 on pretty much every stream now. So that's a good sign for the channel and the growth that we're getting with the subs and the views and the donos and the shares. Appreciate every single one of y'all that has liked, sub, donated, commented, shared. If you are a new sub, I appreciate you. And if you're an OG sub, I appreciate you as well. This is a grind, and I'm not going to stop. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss, low and at the knees. Kirby's got Caratini in an 0-2 count. Nobody on, 2-0 lead. 0-2 pitch. About 5 feet off the plate with that changeup by Kirby. Tried to bait him. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs and nobody on. 2-0 Mariner lead. Let's go. Great start, man. I love fast starts, and it's just nice to see George out there. I missed him tremendously. And again, at some point, there could have been a debate, who's the best pitcher on the squad? Is it Logan Gilbert or George Kirby? Before Brian Wu emerged, as our number one due to those injuries to Kirby and Gilbert as our number one player this year, should be an all-star this year as well. But again, nice to be able to have so many aces, on the staff. Even Castillo, has played pretty well. Logan Evans got rocked in that last start. And again, so we have to figure out who's going to be the guy, in the 5 hole. Is it Bryce Miller? Is it Emerson Hancock? Is it Logan Evans? Not sure if there's really a definitive answer right now, because all of them have either, been injured like Bryce Miller, or have been inconsistent like Hancock and Evans. But we'll see where it goes. Pitches high and away on that 2-2 count. Count now is full to George Kirby to Caratini. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 pitch. And Caratini singles to left. Nice base knock there by Victor Caratini. Next up for the Astros, center fielder Jake Myers. Bottom of the 2nd, runner at first with 2 outs. A 2-0 Seattle lead. Let's go. Let's go, George. Absolutely. First pitch from George Kirby to Jake Myers. Big swing and a miss, high and away, 0-1 count. And what makes George so special, he's like the Greg Maddux of the MLB in 2025. There's not a lot of guys, that are going to be more about location rather than top end speed. Now, George can pitch, 95 to 100 if he needs to. And wild pitch there, Caratini goes to second. But again, he's not the same type of guy like Miller or Castillo or Wu, where they try to throw through the hitters and they're trying to throw as hard as they can. Now, if you can throw hard, but you don't have location, you're going to be all over the place. But with George, he knows when to settle down most of the time and, kind of ease up on some of the pitches instead of being 95 to 98. Some of the pitches will be in the high 80s, and that's where he'll bait some of the, players there, painting it on the corners or trying to bait them high and away. And I like what I'm seeing so far overall from a guy that, has been in the AAA Tacoma Rainiers, organization with some rehab starts. You knew it was going to be a little shaky, but so far, so good. Nothing big yet. 2-1 pitch, fouled off. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs with a runner at second. George Kirby, not looking, 100%, just yet. But again, this is his first start in 2025 after having shoulder inflammation there in spring training, and just happy to be able to see him out there. And honestly, even George at 80% is better than an injured, Bryce Miller, better than probably a Luis Castillo, no matter if he's healthy or not, and probably better than, Logan Evans and Emerson Hancock. We'll find out what Logan Gilbert looks like when he comes back. Obviously, he's not going to look as good or as sharp as Brian Wu as our all-star, but nice to be able to have this great piece accessible for the Seattle Mariners. We've missed them. We love you. I put you on the thumb. Can't wait to see what you do the rest of the year, and hopefully you don't get, injured again. 2-2 pitch, low and away. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Count now is full with a runner at second and 2 outs. Kirby on the mound. Jake Myers in the box. Get him, George. And got him. Strikes out looking, baby. There we go. Nice job, George. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Let's go. I mean, even if George can get 4 or 5 Ks, that would be great. I think anyone expected him to get like only 1 or 2. He's definitely good enough and healthy enough at this point, to put up a decent number. I don't think he's going to go 6 innings, though. But we'll find out. Plugging a few more Kirby photos here. Flying Monk, you still in the building? Appreciate you. And let me know if anything you want to be able to see reflect. I got you as well. End of the second inning, 2-0 Mariners. Let's see who's up next here in the top of the third. Everything looking great for Seattle. Next up for the Mariners here in the top of the third, 0-for-0 with a base on ball, Randy Arozarena. Batting second, first base, Rowdy Tellez. And batting third in the 6th hole, center fielder Leody Taveras. Shout out to Leody getting that first homer in a Seattle Mariner uniform to help us, propel us to a victory over the White Sox, where we easily could have, only won 1 game in that series. Playing up to the competition, we did that obviously against the Padres, scoring 15 and only giving up 3. And most, fans that maybe are just occasional watchers thought for sure we would sweep the White Sox if you could sweep the Padres. But, different team, different feeling, different vibe. And again, we had a rain delay by an hour and a half in that one game. And that definitely, I think, messed up the routine for some of the hitters. But we found a way to dig out and win 2 out of 3. And again, as long as you win, that's all that matters, even if it's only by a run. First pitch, McCullers to Randy Arozarena. Low and away, 1-0 count with that changeup, 79 miles an hour. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking with the changeup, 85 miles an hour right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike from McCullers Jr. to Randy Arozarena. 1-1 pitch in play and lined out to left. I was hoping that was going to fall for Randy. 1 away. Next up, first baseman Rowdy Tellez. 1 for 1 with an RBI. Let's see what we can get here out of Rowdy. And again, Lance McCullers Jr., 0-1 record with an ERA of 7.88. So nothing to really fear from the Astros staff this year. First pitch from McCullers Jr. to Tellez. Takes a strike looking right down the middle with the knuckle curve. 0-1 count. Come on, Rowdy. I'd love to be able to get the trident out for Rowdy Tellez. Let's go. There's a few guys that are due for homers, but I'm glad to see Demo got his. Maybe Rowdy will be able to take advantage. Oh-1 pitch, cutter, fouled off, behind in the count now 0-2. Top of the third, 2-0 Mariners with nobody on and 1 out. 0-2 count from McCullers Jr. to Rowdy Tellez. Let's go, baby. Tigers, Mariners, Yankees. That's where it's at in the American League. You would think there would be a lot more competitive teams, besides those three that have kind of been laying, the foundation, for the American League in 2025. 0-2 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Rowdy Tellez. I mean, considering you got the Mets and the Phillies and the Cardinals and the Cubs and the Giants and the Padres and the Dodgers, just to name a few over there. And big swing and a miss. Down goes Tellez. 2 away. Come on, Rowdy. Next time around. You already got us an RBI, though, so I can't complain. Next up, 0 for 1, center fielder Leody Taveras. Let's go, Leody. You already hit 1 home run against the White Sox for your very first in a Mariner uniform. Could you do it again? Let's go, baby. Bring that electricity. Let's go, Leody. Leody filling in for Julio in center field today, and hopefully we'll get an update on Julio if it's an illness or an injury for J-Rod, Julio Rodriguez. Scratched from the lineup about 15 minutes before the game started. First pitch, high and away with the slider. 1-0 count from McCullers to Leody Taveras. 1-0 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike from McCullers Jr. to Taveras. Let's go, Leody. Top of the third, 2-0 Mariners. And again, we're getting production all around the lineup, so it's not going to be just one individual. And I'm not really sure how many homers we're going to be hitting in this particular series, but hopefully we can win 3 out of 4. If we win the first 3 games, we will have a chance for the sweep, but we won't talk about that until the third game after Brian Wu wins. Then we might be able to talk about it if we win the first 2 and Brian Wu pitches that third game. Pitch fouled off. 1 ball and 2 strikes from McCullers Jr. to Leody Taveras. Let's go, baby. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 50 likes before the stream ends. And obviously 100 in the donos on every single stream. We're at 25, 75 to go. Knuckle curve, fouled off, high and away. 1-2 count with 2 outs and nobody on. 2-0 Seattle lead. 1-2 pitch. High and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a cutter missing the plate by about 5 feet. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and nobody on. Top of the third, 2-0 Mariner lead. McCullers on the bump. Leody Taveras in the box. And down goes Leody Taveras. All right, let's go to the bottom of the third inning and see who's up next here for the Stros. Next up for the Astros, right fielder Cam Smith. Batting second in the 9-hole, second baseman Mauricio Dubon. And back at the top of the order who got hit and plunked on his first at-bat, shortstop Jeremy Pena. Might be really the only player on the team that I like that's on the roster now. I liked Kyle Tucker a lot and Jeremy Pena. They were my 2 favorite that were on the team. But based on everyone that's in the lineup here, really that's the only player that I think that's solid and wasn't really a part of the whole scandal process and whatnot. I think he's a good player. He's a stud. Obviously, Yordan Alvarez is a great player as well, but obviously just recovering from an injury, and we'll see if we end up seeing him pinch hit later in this game or if he'll be starting tomorrow. But he was on the IL for 10 days, and we'll see if we get a little bit of Yordan at some point or another. Struggling a little bit, though, in 2025, only batting .210 with 3 homers and 18 ribbies. Yordan Alvarez. He's got a muscle strain in his right hand, which is not good. Been on the injured list since May 5th. Cinco de Mayo. Let's go Mariners. So far, so good with George Kirby. Let's look at some of the stats here real quick between the pitchers. George Kirby, 2 innings pitched, 1 hit, no earned runs, no walks, 2 Ks, plunked 1 guy, ERA still at 0. 28 pitches, 18 strikes. And then let's take a quick peek at Lance McCullers Jr., 3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 6 Ks, 59 pitches, 35 strikes. ERA is 7.36 based on a 7.88 ERA coming into the game. First pitch fouled off by Cam Smith from George Kirby. High and away in the zone, 0-1 count. Let's go, George. 0-1 pitch. And Cam Smith singles to left. Nice hit there by Cam. Here in the bottom of the 3rd. Next up, second baseman Mauricio Dubon. And now we need a slow dribbler up to JP for a double play. We said that last time, and the sports gods listen. Let's see if we can get another cheap double play on the Stros here and shut that rally down. Let's go. Well, luckily, we're not playing the Twins when they were on that hot streak, when they won like 11 or 12 in a row. Not to say that they can't start another, big win streak, but, luckily we missed them, when they were at their peak. So, not going to be an easy series, with them, it seems like, but I'm up for the challenge. I don't think we're really afraid of anybody. We're going to go out, especially getting George Kirby back. Logan Gilbert will be back pretty soon as well, and then we're just missing Ryan Bliss, Victor Robles, and, Luke Raley. But, we've already proven that we can win without those 3 guys, as well as with winning without Logan Gilbert and George Kirby. And we're about to get Logan back pretty soon, too. So I like our chances against anyone. First pitch to Dubon. High and inside on the line, takes a strike looking with that sinker, 96 miles an hour by Kirby, 0-1 count. And I'm impressed that Kirby has been able to hit, 95 to 98 on some of these pitches, and then scaling it back, and hitting, the corners and finding little spots that he can, kind of work around these hitters. But he is starting to get roughed up a little bit here by another single by Dubon. I wanted a double play. We don't get it. Now we get runners on the corners at first and third with no outs. This might end up leading to a run scored. Hopefully we can shut it down here in the bottom of the 3rd. Runners at first and third and no outs typically leads to at least a minimum of 1 run. First pitch to Jeremy Pena, fouled off, high and away. 0-1 count. Now, big choke by the Knicks, up by 9 with 40 seconds to go. And, how do you not win when you're up by that much with that little time left? But, obviously Halliburton with that deep 3, to force overtime that went up like 10 feet in the air and dropped back in the hoop. And then they ended up finding a way to win. Maybe it was because of Jim Irsay, passing away, the Colts owner, obviously a big Pacer supporter. Sometimes, you get the heavenly acts that end up, giving the strength to a team to be the underdog and win on the road like the Pacers did. But, we'll find out if that ends up happening, series-wise or not. And Pena got hit by a pitch again. Wow. Now we got bases loaded with no outs. We got to be very, very careful here. I'm not sure how long George is going to last. We might have to pull him by the 5th. but hopefully we only give up like a run this inning. Bases loaded now and no outs. We're in a very difficult situation here. But, regardless on who ends up winning between the Knicks and the Pacers, neither one of those teams has a chance against the Thunder, period. The Thunder is going to win it all. And hopefully for NBA fans, it'll be the Knicks and the Thunder. That'll at least get some ratings. If it ends up being Thunder Pacers, good luck. Bottom of the third with bases loaded and no outs. 2-0 Mariners. Kirby struggling in this inning, but hopefully he can find a way to hit the zone or get a couple cheap outs here. First pitch inside at the hips. 1-0 count. Thankfully, we have a 2-0 lead at this point because this could be really bad. 1-0 count from Kirby to Isaac Paredes. Come on, George. Settle in, baby. You can do it. We still believe in you. We know you're coming off your rehab starts in AAA for the Tacoma Rainiers. We knew that you would be shaky in this first start. But again, you can find your way. 1-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking in the zone. Good cutter right there. 89 miles an hour by Kirby. 1 ball and 1 strike with bases loaded and no outs. We just need to chip away. Try to get at least a strikeout or two, in this inning, and then a cheap pop-up or, some ground outs. And hopefully we can do that. No Yordan Alvarez in the lineup. Bregman's on the Red Sox. Tucker is on the Cubs. The lineup isn't threatening. We just have to find a way. 1-1 pitch. Takes a strike looking high and away. Great placement there with that sinker after throwing a beautiful cutter on the previous pitch. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Isaac Paredes. We can get a punch out here. Then we can just take it batter by batter and mow him down. Come on now. Let's go, George. Settle in, baby. 1-2 pitch. Low and away. Fouled off by Isaac Paredes. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes, no outs, and bases loaded here in the bottom of the third with a 2-0 Mariner lead. Let's go. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. 3 more to 30. We need 23 more to hit the goal. Trying to get to 50 before the game ends. And we're at 25 on the dono train, 75 to go. 1-2 pitch, high and away with the cutter fouled off. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes with no outs and bases loaded here in the bottom of the third with George Kirby on the bump, Isaac Paredes in the box. Come on, George. Just got to find a way to get a strikeout and just mow him down. Come on, George. Come on, baby. Let's go, M's. Trident's up. Bottom of the third, bases loaded, 2-0 Mariners. Astros are threatening for the first time in the game. Hard to get double plays with bases loaded. You just got to try to get the force outs and whatnot. Strikeouts, ground outs, pop-ups. But you just got to get that first out. That's going to be the key. And play. And there's the first run where we figured that the Astros would get. Fielder's choice with a runner out. Smith scored, Pena out at second, Dubon to third, 2-1 Mariners. Not surprised. Now we just got to hope that we can limit the damage to just 1. Next up, left fielder, 0 for 1, Jose Altuve. And with 1 swing, we already know we could be down a couple runs. Let's hope that we can find a way to get a double play here. Little slow dribbler up to second, throw to first, and we can get a double play and still be up by 1 run. Come on, George. When you got bases loaded and no outs, you're going to typically score at least 1. But, some teams will score 2, 3, 4, 5. But again, I still have confidence in George Kirby that we can find a way. Bottom of the third, now runners on the corners at first and third. Still in a good position to get a double play. And if we can just get Altuve to bite, on something low and away and he hits a slow dribbler, maybe we can get a double play and just, obviously get the bleeding to stop here, so to speak. First pitch, sinker right down the middle. Foul ball by Jose Altuve. Fouls that one off. Nice souvenir for a fan. With that sinker, 97 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Come on, Mariners. Tridents up. 0-1 pitch, high and tight inside, fouled off with the sinker. Behind in the count now 0-2 to Jose Altuve. Come on, baby. And Altuve is a pretty streaky hitter. You know, he'll be one of those guys that might go, 0 for 5 one night, and then the next night he'll go 4 for 5. So we'll see what we get, out of Altuve, but hopefully, he doesn't do too much damage on us here. Bottom of the third, 2-1 Mariners. Runners on the corners at first and third with 1 out. We need a double play, a little slow dribbler, right up the middle. Or if we can get a punch out or a pop up by Altuve, we'll take that. In play, and Altuve gets a sac fly. Runner at third scores. Dubon, now we're knotted up at 2. Now this has got to be the last run that they score this inning. Can't have them score anymore. This is it. Next up, 0 for 1 with a K. DHing Yanier Diaz, and we should be able to get him out. And again, the bleeding will finally stop, and we're tied now. But again, when you have bases loaded and no outs, you're supposed to score, 1 or 2 or 3 runs. So first pitch from Kirby to Diaz. Takes a strike swinging low and away, 0-1 count. And, as long as Kirby gives up hopefully 3 runs or less, that's typically what we would have if he was, healthy all year. Every pitcher is going to give up something. But hopefully, that will be it for the rest of the matchup, obviously, at least for Kirby. 0-1 pitch. Fouled off with the changeup. High and at the knees. Behind in the count now 0-2 from Kirby to Diaz. Bottom of the third, runner at first. We're knotted up at 2. And hopefully we can have Kirby settle in here. I mean, you got to think that Pena and Altuve are going to be the main guys that hurt us in this series. And then if the role players step up, then obviously we'll have a chance to lose. So we have to minimize, the damage from the role players. But Pena and Altuve are almost a given that they're going to, do the damage. 0-2 pitch, high and away with a cutter, about 5 feet off the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 2 outs. Let's get out of this fucking inning. And there it is. Diaz strikes out swinging. Kirby with another K. The damage was done, but at least it wasn't, 3 runs or 4 runs. We're tied. So I think we can live with that. We're going to score more runs anyways. But again, when they end up getting bases loaded with no outs, you already know you're kind of in a jam. Wish it could have been better, but at least we're not down when we're tied. We got to keep the best perspective possible moving forward. Next up for the Mariners here in the top of the 4th, second baseman Dylan Moore. Batting second, right fielder Miles Mastrobuoni, who is 0 for 1. And batting third, 1 for 1, third baseman Ben Williamson. So Demo with a solo dinger, Miles 0 for 1, Ben Williamson 1 for 1. Let's go Mariners. Let's go Seattle. We still love you, George. We knew it was going to be, it was going to be a process. But again, could have been worse. Could have given up a few home runs already. So, again, not the most ideal situation, but at least we're not down. We're tied. All right, we're at 30. There we go. 20 more likes to go before the stream ends. We can do that. Appreciate you, Captain. You're doing a great job. 20 more likes to go, and we're at 25 on the Dono train, 75 to go. Next up for the Mariners, Dylan Moore. Let's go, Demo. First pitch to Dylan Moore, low and away with the slider by McCullers Jr., 1-0 count. Fouls off the second pitch with the slider right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike to Demo Dylan Moore. 1-1 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from McCullers Jr. to Dylan Moore. Let's go, Demo. Two-one pitch in play and flies out to right, 1 away. Down goes Demo. Next up, right fielder 0 for 1, Miles Mastrobuoni. Top of the 4th, we're knotted up at 2. Hopefully we can find a way for Miles to be somewhat productive. Let's go, Miles. First pitch, low and at the knees with a knuckle curve by Lance McCullers Jr., 1-0 count. One-0 pitch, high and away, 5 feet off the plate. 2 balls and no strikes to Miles Mastrobuoni. 2-0 pitch, takes a strike looking, low and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to Mastrobuoni from Lance McCullers Jr. Let's go, baby. STL in the building, what's good? 2-1 pitch, high and away. 3 balls and 1 strike to Miles Mastrobuoni. If he can force a walk here, that'll be just as productive as anything. Hit by pitch, walk, unless he ends up getting like a nice little base knock for a single. But not too reliable of a hitter, Miles Mastrobuoni. Kind of like Donovan Solano and Mitch Garver, where it's pretty limited. Garver probably the best out of the 3. And there we go. And again, like I mentioned, sometimes walks can be blessings, unless you're trying to drop a bunt down and get to first. And we get a guy that normally would strike out, pop up, or ground out, and we get him to go to first based off a walk. And we'll take that. Next up, third baseman, Ben Williamson. Let's go, Big Ben. Plays great defense, got good baseball IQ. Let's see if we can get a hot streak going out of Ben Williamson. Let's go, baby. First pitch, low and away to Big Ben with that slider. 1-0 count. One-0 pitch, fouled off, high and inside with a sinker. 1 ball and 1 strike from McCullers Jr. to Ben Williamson. Top of the 4th, we're knotted up at 2. And again, the Mariners came out really hot out of the gates, but in that, 3rd inning, bases loaded by George Kirby and no outs, you knew they were going to score 1 or 2, but at least they didn't have the big, 2-run blast or 3-run blast where we're looking up at the scoreboard and we're down now. So, it could have been better than what it was, but, sometimes that's that's kind of what happens when you end up getting yourself into a jam. You have to dig yourself out. 1 ball, 1 strike, runner at first with 1 out. McCullers Jr. on the mound, Ben Williamson in the box. Let's go, Big Ben. One pitch in play and a fielder's choice, runner out. Mastrobuoni out at second. Williamson is safe at first with 2 away. Next up for the Mariners, shortstop J.P. Crawford. Let's go, J.P. And if anyone is overdue for a homer, maybe it's J.P. Crawford. Let's go, J.P. First pitch, low and at the knees with the changeup, 87 miles an hour by McCullers Jr., 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, high and away with the changeup. 2 balls and no strikes from McCullers Jr. to Crawford. Maybe this will be another walk for JP. Top of the 4th, runner at first with 2 outs. Mastroboni getting on base with a walk, and hopefully JP can do the same unless he can work this count. 2-0 pitch, takes a strike looking on the line. Try to paint that corner. 2 balls and 1 strike with runner at first and 2 outs. Mastroboni at first, and hopefully we can move him over. Unless he ends up trying to steal, but we don't want him to get caught like Julio did a couple games back. 2-1 pitch, high and away. 3 balls and 1 strike to JP Crawford. All right, Paisley, I see you. You see my pup there in the background. She's like, Dad, let me out. Pitch fouled off. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to JP Crawford. She likes to be able to wander in the house. Usually find her spots, on the couch or in here with me. And big swing and a miss. Down goes JP Crawford. That's brutal. Tough. Nice punch out there by McCullers. We won't hate on him. Nice job by Lance. And we'll give an update here, based off all the stats with the pitchers there. I see you. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 4th inning, and we'll see who's up next here for the Stros. Four innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 7 Ks, 77 pitches, 43 strikes, 6.75 ERA for Lance McCullers Jr. And then for George Kirby, 3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks, and 3 Ks. George does not walk that often, even when he's coming back from rehab. All right, let's see who's up next here for the Stros here in the bottom of the 4th. Next up for the Stros, 0-for-1 first baseman Christian Walker. Batting second, 1-for-1 catcher Victor Caratini. And batting third, 0-for-1 with a K center fielder Jake Myers. Let's go Mariners. You're doing a good job, Captain. Appreciate you. Let's go, baby. 7 more likes to 40. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us hit that algorithm and get more people in the room based off a YouTube recommendation. We're at 33, 17 to go, and we're at 25, 75 to go on the Dono train. Appreciate you, Captain. Bottom of the 4th inning, we're still knotted up at 2. And just a quick update for anyone that just entered the stream. In the top of the 1st inning, Rowdy Tellez singled to center. Crawford scored 1-0 Mariners. They're in the top of the 2nd. Demo, first pitch. Boom, see ya. Homer to center, 413 feet, 2-0 Mariners. There in the bottom of the 3rd is where things got ugly for Seattle. We had bases loaded, no outs. Paredes grounds out to a fielder's choice into 3rd. Cam Smith scored, 2-1 Mariners. And then Altuve hit a sac fly to right. Dubon scores to make it 2-2. And that's the recap of the matchup so far. Both teams have 2 runs. Both teams have 3 hits. Houston has an error. Mariners do not. And we'll see how it all plays out here moving forward. First pitch from Kirby to Christian Walker. Low and away with that sinker. 88 miles an hour, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch, high and away. Tried to paint that corner. 1 ball and 1 strike from Kirby to Walker. Let's go, George. Wheel and deal, baby. 1-1 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike to Christian Walker. 2-1 pitch, fouled off. High and inside with that cutter, 87 miles an hour. 2 balls, 2 strikes with no outs and nobody on here in the bottom of the 4th inning, where we're knotted up in a battle with our number 1 rival, the Houston Astros. We're knotted up at 2. This series always excites me. Like I said, I love playing the Astros. I love playing the Rangers. Got him. Walker strikes out swinging. There you go, George. I love it, baby. Another punch out by George Kirby, but I always love playing the Astros and the Rangers and the Yankees, teams in the American League that, we are rivals with. Even the Angels and the Athletics, we'll see how, they do throughout the year. We assume that the Angels will be the worst team. Athletics kind of started hot, but then have hit a wall, and now the Rangers and Astros have passed them. So, it's a long season. At one point you're going to have, the Mariners and the Athletics at the top, but you never can discredit the Astros or the Rangers. The A's, they're going to be good, week to week, but they're also going to hit a wall like they have just recently. First pitch from Kirby to Caratini, takes a strike swinging right down the middle, 0-1 count. But if it was my preference, I would love to see the Athletics and the Mariners make the playoffs. Athletics be the wild card, Mariners win the AL West, but that might not happen, if the Athletics players keep getting hurt or if they have inconsistent play. Because if the only way the Athletics are going to be able to beat the Rangers or the Astros for that spot is if they stay hot and healthy for, at least 70% of the year, and we'll find out if that happens or not. 0-1 pitch, high and inside, 1 ball and 1 strike from Kirby to Caratini. 1-1 pitch. And Caratini grounds out to second, throw to first, 2 away. Next up for the Astros, 0 for 1 with a K, center fielder Jake Myers. Let's go, George. Let's go, baby. First pitch. High and away with the sinker, 95 miles an hour to Jake Myers, 1-0 count. Bottom of the 4th inning, nobody on with 2 outs. We're knotted up here at 2. 1-0 pitch, high and inside with the sinker, 95 miles an hour by Kirby. 2 balls and no strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Kirby on the mound, Myers in the box. Come on, George. Settle in, baby. Bottom of the 4th inning, knotted up at 2. Kirby on the mound, Myers in the box. Come on, baby. Pitch in there for a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jake Myers. In play. And Myers singles to left. Nice base knock there by Jake Myers. Next up, 1 for 1 with a run, right fielder Cam Smith. Bottom of the 4th, runner at first with 2 outs. We're knotted up at 2. Let's get out of this, George Kirby. First pitch from Kirby to Smith, high and inside with a sinker, 1-0 count. Cam Smith in the box, George Kirby on the mound. They need to bring these jerseys back. If they need to eliminate like the Northwest green or the cream, they got to bring these jerseys back. I love those gray jerseys. 1-0 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and no strikes from Kirby to Smith. I mean, we don't have a very good record with the Northwest Greens. We haven't even won a game yet in those jerseys and whatnot, but everyone's got a preference. I mean, even while we wear these navy blues like 70% of the time. 2-0 pitch, high and away. 3 balls and no strikes from Kirby to Smith. Come on, George. Bottom of the 4th inning with 2 outs. Runner at first. 3-0 pitch. Takes a strike swinging. Big swing and a miss. 3 balls and 1 strike. from Kirby to Smith. Yeah, I actually have a graphic, that, and the person that I follow that actually covers all that. Takes a strike looking in the zone. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Count now is full. 3-2 pitch. High and inside, and that is a walk. Come on, George. George getting a little sloppy here. And Cam Smith with the walk. Myers to second. Next up, 1-for-1 with a run, second baseman Mauricio Dubon. Yeah, but based on updated numbers, the Whites were 9-7 this year. Northwest Green were 0-3, and we haven't wore those jerseys in 33 days. 3-1 with the Creams. We wear the navies the most. We're 15-6, and then City Connects were only 1-3. But last year we had a really good record with the City Connects. So, kind of just depends on how often you're wearing them and who you're playing. And I wonder if they're going to pull George Kirby out here or not. Now you got Woodworth coming out. We want to make sure we're not giving up the lead here, but we want to make sure George's arm is okay. We're in the bottom of the 4th with runners at first and second and 2 outs. And even though the Astros have been, getting a few guys, on base here and there, it hasn't ever gotten to a point where we're like, oh God, this is like really bad. Like when Logan Evans or Emerson Hancock or Bryce Miller were getting roughed up. He's only given up 2 runs, and when you get bases loaded, no outs, it's not ideal, but it could have been much worse. So. And for any starting pitcher, regardless if they're an all-star or if they're a AAA pitcher, you just hope that they give up 3 runs or less and they can pitch 5 to 6 innings. And then the team can step up after that pitcher goes out and make up the difference if you're down. 0-1 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. Behind in the count now, 0-2 to Mauricio Dubon. 1 more strike and we can get out of this inning. Yeah, but I follow all the different all the different MLB nerds that cover all the different stats and whatnot. So bottom of the 4th, runners at first and second with 2 outs. We're knotted up at 2. Kirby making his first 2025 MLB start, based off shoulder inflammation during spring training, and it took this long for him to be ready. Had a few starts for the Tacoma Rainiers in the AAA affiliate, to kind of get his body and his mind right. And he's looked good in some innings and shaky in others, which is expected. But we should be able to get out of this inning, hopefully, with the game still tied. 0-2 pitch, high and away with the 4-seam fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 2 outs. In play. Damn it. And Mauricio Dubon singles to right. Myers scores. Smith to third. Now we're down 3-2. We might have to pull George Kirby either now or we're going to, maybe have someone come in the 5th inning for him. Can't give up any more than 3, though. Got to get out of the inning here. And right past Rowdy Tellez. Wish Rowdy was in a better position there, but a hard hit ball by Dubon brings in a run. And I wonder if that is the end for George Kirby here. Next up, being hit twice, shortstop Jeremy Pena. And again, we don't want to have Pena homer and then all of a sudden we're down 6-2, because if that happens, we're not going to come back, more than likely. So. Bottom of the 4th inning, runners at first and second. Oh, God, they didn't pull him. And there it is, Jeremy Pena. And I had a feeling, Pena with a triple, and now we're fucking down 5-2. We should have pulled him. I mean, this was his first start, but again, after they took the lead 3-2, you plunked Pena twice. You knew something big was going to happen. I usually get these feelings when something, bad is about to happen, and there it is. Should have pulled him. You decided not to. You got greedy, and now we're down by 3 runs. Got to pull him now. I mean, how long are you going to continue for them to get more and more runs? They still got a guy at third, and if you keep Kirby in again, we're going to be down 6-2. We have to make sure that we keep it under 5 runs when we get down, because that's kind of the maximum number that we can come back from, because we're very good in the 7th and 8th and 9th innings. So even though it looks bad now, I know we can still come back. We can still end up hitting a homer or two or getting a couple clutch RBIs, but definitely bad management, there by Dan Wilson and company. You should have pulled him. You want to be able to stretch him out as long as he can, but again, you're going to do more damage to the player if he's not ready. And again, this is his first start in 2025. You should have known better once they took the lead 3-2 with Pena up. Recognize what kind of player Pena is, and obviously Dan Wilson has no fucking idea, and we get brutalized for a triple that brings in another, and now we're down 5-2. All right, George Kirby's day is done. Unfortunate that he was so rusty there, and hopefully he'll be better, next time around. Not ideal. Next up for the Astros with the runner at third, Isaac Paredes. And let's see who the Mariners decide to bring in. Oh, God, we're bringing in Edward Bazardo. Holy fuck, I don't know about that. Oh, God. We got to pray that we get the good Bazardo. What are you doing, Dan Wilson? I mean, it's not as bad as Scott Service, but holy fuck. And hopefully Bazardo and Cal can be on the same page. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 50 likes before the stream ends. And we are at, 75 to go on the Dono train. George, rough one. I still feel that we can come back, though. Again, if this was, last year's team or, even from a couple years ago, we had a really hard time hitting and we were the number 1 strikeout team. We're a top 5 hitting team now. So, even though it looks bad now, we can still come back. We're only down 3. We just have to try to chip away, hopefully get out of this inning unscathed at this point and not let them get that runner from third scoring. So we're down by 4. We keep it at 3 and then just try to score, a run every inning until we get into the 7th and then kind of go from there. And in any given moment, we could end up having that explosion inning where we score 1 to 4 runs, just like the Astros did, but we might have to wait for McCullers to go out. 1-0 pitch is away. 2-0 count. 2-0 pitch. And Paredes flies out to left, and we finally get out of the inning. End of the 4th inning, but the damage was done. Kirby not looking too good there. They should have pulled him. And again, pulling a pitcher at the right time, or keeping a guy in a certain amount, that could really dictate the outcome of the matchup. And now we dug ourselves in a hole where we could have been just down 1, but now we're down 3. See who's up next here in the top of the 5th to get the rally started. Let's go, baby. We need the Mariner Moose more than ever. Next up, 0 for 2 with 2 Ks, DHing Jorge Polanco. Batting second, 0 for 2 with 2 Ks, catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. We're going to need a homer or an RBI, single, double, triple, something. Come on, Cal. And batting third, 0 for 1 with a base on ball, left fielder, Randy Arozarena. And we're definitely missing Julio in the lineup. Again, his bat, whether it be a home run, a single, a double, an RBI, not having Julio in the lineup is definitely hurting. And hopefully it's not an injury or an illness that he can't recover from. Hopefully he'll be in the lineup tomorrow. Let's go Mariners. Trident's up. We don't know yet because we don't know why Julio was supposed to start, and then they scratched him from the lineup like 15 minutes before the game started. So normally when they do that, it's due to a minor injury or an illness, but we'll find out. If I had to take a guess on it, I would probably assume that we're not going to see Julio today. They're going to try to get him rested and evaluated, and then the best case scenario, Julio will be in the lineup tomorrow, hopefully, and if not, we'll find out later tonight or tomorrow morning on the injury report. No, Kirby is out. Once the starting pitcher goes out, they can't come back in. Sarah in the building, what's good? Top of the 5th inning, we're down 3 runs, 5-2 Astros, and hopefully we can find a way to get back into this matchup with a rally from the Mariner Moose. Let's go. First pitch to Jorge Polanco from Lance McCullers Jr., low and at the knees, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, low and at the knees, same location with that slider after the changeup, 2-0 count. 2-0 pitch, fouled off, low and at the knees. McCullers really trying to paint that corner, low and inside. 2 balls and 1 strike with nobody on and no outs. We're in the top of the 5th, down by 3 runs, and hopefully we can find a way to chip away. Try to get a run per inning, and try to get it to be 5-5 by the 8th or the 9th. So that way that we're at least in line to at least be competitive in this matchup. 2-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jorge Polanco. They still got their starter in the matchup. 0-1 record with a 7.88 ERA for Lance McCullers Jr. But again, George Kirby making his first start of the year, coming off shoulder inflammation. And, early on he looked okay, but definitely was rusty at some point. And when you get bases loaded, no outs, that brought in 2. And then obviously, him getting roughed up in that next inning when it went 3-2, should have never pitched to Pena, and he made him pay. 1 away. Down goes Polo. Next up, big dumper, 0 for 2 with 2 Ks, catcher Cal Raleigh. Let's go, Cal. Trident's up, baby. Let's go. You're going to be the guy that gets us going. First pitch to Cal Raleigh, takes a strike looking high and away, painting the corner by McCullers Jr., 0-1 count. Top of the 5th, 5-2 Astros. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Behind the count now, 0-2. From McCullers Jr. to big dumper Cal Raleigh. Come on, Cal. 0-2 pitch, low and away with a knuckle curve, 82 miles an hour by McCullers Jr. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, nobody on. Top of the 5th. We just have to try to get a run per inning. A run in this inning, a run in the 6th, a run in the 7th, and again, just kind of chip away, to see where we can be by the time we get, to the 8th or the 9th, and hopefully we're within a run or 2 where we can actually have a chance, because if it's 5-2 in the 9th, it's going to be really tough to come back. Pitches low and at the knees. Now count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody on and 1 out. Top of the 5th inning, 5-2 Stros. Come on, Cal. Come on, baby. 3-2 pitch. And there we go. Cal Raleigh singles to right. There we go. Start the rally. That's what I'm talking about. Slow but steady. After you digging yourself into a 3-run hole, it's not going to all come back right away. Nice single by Cal. Next up, left fielder Randy Arozarena. And if there was ever a time that we needed a 2-run jack, it's fucking right now to get the score to be 5-4. Come on, Randy. Bring that electricity, baby. Let's go. No, once a starting pitcher goes out, they can't come back in. First pitch, takes a strike, looking in the zone. 0-1 count from McCullers Jr. to Randy Arozarena. 0-1 pitch, high and inside. Another strike looking, painting the corner. Behind in the count now 0-2 to Randy Arozarena. Zay in the building, what's good? Yeah, well, I mean, if you did the research, I would have never even put a bet on Kirby because this is his first start in 2025. He's been injured all year. And Arozarena singles to center. Here we go. Here's that rally. Next up is first baseman Rowdy Tellez. I mean, you got to know the rules of baseball before you bet. You know, because if you don't know the rules of baseball and you're blindly betting, you're going to lose. You know, you have to be able to understand, you know, when pitchers play, how the rules of the game go. Because if you don't even understand the rules, you're never going to win. And even if you understand the rules, you may not win. You know, baseball is a hard sport to bet on and win. Facts. Top of the fifth inning, runners at first and second with back-to-back singles here by the Mariners. We like that. Cal Raleigh, he listened and got the message. Randy Arozarena, he got the message. Next up, this is how we tie the game up with a 3-run jack by Rowdy Tellez. Bring that electricity, baby. Come on, Rowdy. Yeah, but again, you know, you always want to look at those, you know, stats, you know, like, you know, is this, you know, what's the record of the player? You know, you never bet on a guy that's playing in his first game, especially when he's been injured the whole year and got injured in spring training. So you got to think, you know, this is the first time. And normally George Kirby's a good pitcher. You know, he's one of the top 20 pitchers in baseball. And obviously one of our aces with Logan Gilbert and Brian Wu. But again, if he had played all season, you know, maybe you end up winning that bet, you know, and things go a little bit better. But yeah, I definitely, you know, we're lucky that he even got as many Ks as he did in that particular first outing. You knew that, at least Mariner fans, we knew that it could be, you know, kind of tough sledding. So top of the fifth, runners at first and second with 1 out, and they're going to pull McCullers now, and then they're going to end up bringing in another pitcher, Dupin. All right, here we go. Hopefully this will be the pitcher that we need to get it going. And let's take a final look as both starters now are out of the game in the fifth inning. So Lance McCullers Jr., 4.1 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 8 Ks, 91 pitches, 52 strikes, 7.88 ERA with an 0-1 record coming in. And he's got a 6.57 ERA now. So he dropped it down by like 1.33. And then obviously George Kirby, not exactly what we wanted. 3.2 innings pitched, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 walk, 4 Ks, but we should have pulled him when the score was 3-2 instead of pitching to Pena, and then Pena got a triple, brought in 2 more. And instead of being down 3-2, now we're down 5-2. And that's on Dan Wilson. You know, that's on the coaching staff. You have to recognize when to pull a guy and when not to. And, you know, if you end up having bases loaded with no outs, you already know bad shit's going to happen. Top of the fifth, runners at first and second with 1 out. Next up is Rowdy Tellez. First pitch, takes a strike looking on the low corner. 0-1 count. Come on, Rowdy. This would be great if we could get a jack here. Or even an RBI single would be great. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees with the curve. 1 ball and 1 strike from Dubin to Tellez. Sean Dubin, 5.2 innings with a 0.00 ERA. 6 Ks to 3 walks and limited action from Dubin. 1-1 pitch, fouled off, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Rowdy Tellez. Come on, Rowdy. Cal with a single, Randy with a single. Now we need Rowdy to clean it up. You know, it's hard to be able to get back-to-back hits. It's not easy. We got a solo dinger by Demo, you know, and hopefully we can get a couple more homers in this game to catch up. Zay in the building. What's good, brother? How are you? Let's go. We need a rally. In play. Here we go, baby. Rowdy Tellez singled to right. Arozarena to second. Cal to third. You know, sometimes your boy just knows. Cal with a single, talk it into existence. Randy with a single, talk it into existence. Rowdy with a single. Now we got a guy that hit his first homer of the season for the Seattle Mariners, coming over from the Texas Rangers, ultimately helping us win against the White Sox yesterday. Leote, you got something special in the bag? Is it time for the mustard and the rye bread and a grand salami? I highly doubt it, but you never know. That could be the difference in the game if we end up getting a grand salami here and making it 6-5. But honestly, even if we just get a run or two and we can get it to 5-3 or 5-4, we're in business. We still got 3-4 innings after this. So again, the faster that we can catch up, the better chances that we have to win this game, potentially like 7-6 or something of that nature. But hopefully Leote can get something going here. Even if it's a sac fly in the outfield to, bring the guy home from third, worst case scenario, just find a way to get a run or two here. 1 minimum, 2 I'm hoping, 3+ would be great. Oh, congratulations, man. Top of the 5th, bases loaded. Let's go, baby. Oh-2 pitch, and Leote Taveras strikes out swinging. Fucking A. 2 away. All right, Leote couldn't come up big, but maybe this guy can. Next up, a guy with a solo shot early in the matchup, second baseman Dylan Moore. Come on, Dylan, you can do it, baby. First pitch to Dylan Moore, high and away, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking in the zone. 1 ball and 1 strike from Dubin to Dylan Moore. Bases loaded with 2 outs now, top of the 5th. Let's try to get at least a run here. Let's not squander an opportunity with bases loaded. It's hard for the Mariners or any team to get back-to-back hits. It doesn't happen often. Pitch fouled off. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Dylan Moore. Come on, Demo. Yeah, congrats on the promotion, Zay. You the man. Top of the 5th, 5-2 Astros, bases loaded with 2 outs. Dubin coming in relief for Lance McCullers Jr. And in play, and Demo pops out to second. Fuck, we left him stranded. That's brutal. But the good sign is typically when the Mariners have bases loaded or, runners at second and third and we get nothing, typically in 2025 in this season, the next inning or the inning after that, we end up cashing in. So unfortunate that we weren't able to bring him home this inning, but usually that's a sign of good things to come either in the next inning or the inning after. So hopefully that stays true to the method to the madness, but we definitely squandered an opportunity there by Leote and Demo not being able to cash in for at least even a sac fly to make it 5-3. But hopefully we'll be able to figure something out here in the 6th, the 7th, and the 8th and the 9th inning. Let's see who's up next here in the bottom of the 5th for the Astros. They got lucky there. I can't believe we didn't cash in at least a run. Next up for the Astros, 0-for-1 with an RBI, Jose Altuve. Batting second, 0-for-2 with 2 Ks, DHing Yanier Diaz. And batting third, 0-for-2 with a K, first baseman Christian Walker. Let's go Mariners. Come on, baby. Go check up on my pup here real quick. Give me 1 sec. All right, pup is snuggling on the couch. So she is good to go. And hopefully the Mariners can find a way to come back here. Let's go. We need a rally. Bottom of the 5th inning, Bazardo on the mound for the Mariners. Jose Altuve in the box. First pitch to Altuve, fouled off, low and at the knees. 0-1 count to Jose Altuve. Come on, Mariners, battle back. 0-1 pitch. Takes a strike, looking right on that corner again from Edward Bazardo. Behind in the count now, 0-2. And hopefully Bazardo can pitch a few innings here and we can find a way to slowly but surely chip away and come back in this matchup on the road in Houston. 0-2 pitch. Low and away with the sinker. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Bazardo to Altuve. 1-2 pitch. Low and away, 5 feet off the plate with the 4-seam fastball. 95 miles an hour by Bazardo. A little wild there. 2 balls, 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. 5-2 Astro lead. Come on, Seattle. Two pitch, low and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Jose Altuve. Bottom of the 5th, 5-2 Astros. Come on, Mariners. They got guys in the pen warming up. Come on, Bazardo. You got to at least make it to Cal's glove. Holy hell. 3-2 pitch. Back. See ya. Jose Altuve. Solo dinger, 403 feet. Now we're down by 4 runs. 6-2 Houston. Nice job by Altuve. And again, if pitching ends up being an issue, George Kirby did not look good. Bazardo just gave up a homer to Altuve. You knew he was going to be an impact player in this series. And again, now we're down by 4 in the bottom of the 5th. Next up, DHing for the Astros, 0-for-2 with 2 Ks, Yanier Diaz. First pitch, low and away with the slider from Bazardo, 1-0 count. And, I obviously would have liked to see someone better than Bazardo entering the game. But, again, shouldn't have spent money on Donovan Solano and Miles Mastrobuoni. Should have used that money to get relief pitchers. Facts. Shows you how important, starting pitching and obviously relief pitching truly is. I mean, we got the best closer in baseball with Andres Munoz, and we got Brash and, Gabe Spire and Legumina that we trust most of the time. But what about the others? The Bazardos, the Colin Snyders, and the Casey Lawrences, and the others in play. And Diaz singles to left. I mean, pull Bazardo. This guy fucking stinks too. I mean, how many runs are we going to give up with Bazardo, like with Kirby, before we end up pulling this guy? Come on now. And like I said, I feel like the series is probably going to go 2-2. Again, we needed to win game 1 if we were going to win 3 out of 4. Nobody is going to sweep in this series, but I still feel, it's going to be probably 2-2. Hopefully the Mariners can find a way to make it 3 out of 4, but that would mean that we probably would have to come back and win this game, and I'm not sure if that's going to happen. Unless we have an incredible rally late, and their pitching stinks like ours has today. 1-1 pitch, low and away with a 4-seam fastball. 2 balls and 1 strike from Bazardo to Walker. They don't have Alex Bregman, who's on the Red Sox. They don't have Kyle Tucker, who's on the Cubs. Hell, Yordan Alvarez is still battling an injury. Supposed to come back probably tomorrow. It's really Pena and Altuve. And if you can control those 2 guys, you can let the rest of the role players beat you. But unfortunately, that's what's happened today. On top of Pena and Altuve, showing why they're the 2 best players on the team. Pena getting hit by pitches in his first 2 at-bats, then a big triple and scoring 2, and then Altuve with a big solo dinger. Pitch fouled off. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Bazardo to Walker. Anna in the building. What's good? He did not do good. Again, he started off decent, but the 3rd inning was really brutal. Gave up 2, And it was tied up, obviously 2-2 at that point. And then we gave up 3 in the 4th. And then obviously we, took him out. But we should have took out Kirby when we were down 3-2. And they decided to go, for one more guy. And then Jeremy Pena ended up getting a 2-run RBI triple. And then it made it 5-2. And then they brought in Bizzardo. And Bizzardo just gave up a solo dinger to Altuve. So not the greatest outing for his first start for George Kirby. But 3.2 innings pitched, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 walk, 4 Ks. 72 pitches, 49 strikes. His ERA is fucking 12. So, again, he's going to have to work pretty hard to get that, down. So, yeah, super rusty in his first start. But in the first couple innings, it was, kind of hit or miss. He did have a moment where he had bases loaded, no outs. And we knew when we had the 2-0 lead that that was going to get evaporated. But kind of got progressively worse and worse from there. First pitch to Victor Caratini. Low and at the knees, 1-0 count. Bizzardo on the mound, Caratini in the box. 6-2 Astro lead. But really, the main number for the Mariners, is 5 runs. 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits is what we typically need to win. And also, we can't get down by any more than 5. That's kind of the cutoff point. If we get down by more than 5 runs, it's almost a wrap. Even with this, top 25, top 5, 2025 hitting team in the Mariners. Like, we're down by 4. It looks terrible now on the screen, but, we still have a few innings to go. We just have to chip away, but we're probably going to have to hope that their pitching kind of turns into our pitching and it kind of goes downhill and then we can start raking. 1-1 pitch, fouled off. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Bizzardo to Caratini. And also Julio was a late scratch from the game. Julio was supposed to start, and then 15 minutes before first pitch, they scratched him from the lineup either due to a minor injury or an illness. They haven't said. So, if we had Julio playing, maybe we're not down 6-2. Pitch is low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Bizzardo to Caratini. I mean, it's one thing if Pena does well, and it's one thing if Altuve does well. But again, for the rest of the guys, you can't let those other guys hurt you. And unfortunately, pitching has been rough today. 2-2 pitch, low and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Bizzardo to Caratini. And we need a double play bad. We need a little slow dribbler right up the middle to JP Crawford, throw to Rowdy Tellez, and we get out of this fucking inning down 4. Pitch fouled off. 4-seam fastball by Caratini. Count still full. 3 balls, 2 strikes with a runner at first and 1 out. Astros 6, Mariners 2. But the first 3 game set in Seattle in the beginning of the year, we won 2 out of 3. So it's not like, and we had their number last year for sure. But we won game 1 4-3, lost game 2 2-1 in 12 innings, and then we won game 3 7-6. So, you never know what kind of game you're going to get. A big explosion of hits and runs, or is it going to be a pitcher's duel at some point in the series? It is a 4-game series here on the road. In play, and Caratini reached on an infield single to second. Diaz, brutal. Runners at first and second now with 1 out. Pull Bizzardo. Like, why the fuck is he still in the game? I know that our bullpen stinks and we have limited guys, but we couldn't have anybody. You can't go from one pitcher that's bad in Kirby to another guy that we don't trust in Bizzardo. Off the glove of Rowdy. Brutal. First pitch from Bizzardo to Myers. Takes a strike looking on the line. 0-1 count. Come on, Mariners. But even as bad as it looks right now on the screen, down 6-2, I think we could still, come back. I'm not sure come back and win, but I think that, if you can have the faith, I mean, depending on how bad Bizzardo does here, and Myers flies out to right, 2 away. Now, obviously, if Bizzardo ends up giving up any more runs this inning, then yeah, we're not coming back. We have to keep it under 5 runs. And even then, we might only score 1 or more or 2 more before the game is up. But Mariners can explode for 1 to 4 runs in any inning. And we're one of the top 3 teams in MLB in the 7th, 8th, and 9th. So, we just have to hope that their pitching starts to hit a wall like ours did. First pitch to Cam Smith, takes a strike looking right down the pipe. 0-1 count. Bizzardo on the mound. Smith in the box. 0-1 pitch. Low and inside at the knees with a slider. 1 ball and 1 strike from Bizzardo to Smith. Come on, Bizzardo. I mean, I don't really trust anybody in the pen besides Brash, Gabe Spire, Casey Legomina, and obviously Andres Munoz as our closer. That's it. I don't trust anybody else. In play, and luckily Cam Smith flies out to left. The damage is done, and we're down now 6-2. Let's see who's up next here for the Mariners. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 1 with a base on ball, right fielder Miles Mastroboni, and hopefully he can drop a bunt down, and then we can start a rally. Batting second, third baseman, 1 for 2, Ben Williamson. And batting third, shortstop, J.P. Crawford. Come on, J.P. You are so overdue for a homer. You know, if we could get something special out of him, that would be great. And we need to start dropping some fucking bunts down. You know, find a way to get on base. Be creative out there. Got to have the faith. It's not looking good right now, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be this way the rest of the series or even the rest of this game. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Battle back. Got to try to get at least 1 run this inning to make it 6-3 and then make it 6-4 in the 7th. That's not asking too much. Just getting into a position when we're only down 1 or 2 runs going into the 8th and 9th, and we'll have a chance. But if we're down by, 3 or 4 runs by that point, then it's probably over, unless we have a miracle. Come on, baby. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. We're just approaching, the 40 like number? Let's go. Where are we at on the likes? I know we're at 25 on the dono train. 75 to go. We got Leo Rivas coming in. Awesome. Finally. All right. We are at, boom, 45 likes. We need 5 more to hit the goal before the stream ends. We're at 45. Only 5 more to go, and then we're good to go. Let's get it, baby. We can do that. And we got Rivas coming in for Mastroboni. Finally. First pitch to Mastroboni, high and away. 1-0 count. Let's go, Leo. And I like Leo. I think that he should be getting more playing time. Especially if it's between him and Mastroboni. This guy can actually get hits. This guy can't. You almost have to pray that he doesn't swing like Mitch Garver or Donovan Solano. Those are the 3 worst on the roster. This guy typically will be batting 300 to 350 with just no playing time. And he's a better defender than those guys too. Good defender, good at offense, good speed on the bags, can steal bases, and obviously can drop a bunt down. 2-0 count. Fouls that one off. 2 balls and 1 strike from Okert to Rivas. Astros making another change with their bullpen as well. Rivas batting .306 with no homers and 3 ribbies in limited action. It seems like we see Leo play once every 5 to 10 games, which is fucking ridiculous. When's the last time that you had your favorite team that had a guy batting 300 or more and not play? It's just weird. I don't know why he's in the doghouse, but, I would rather have him play than Donovan Solano, Mitch Garver, Miles Mastroboni. He should be playing with JP. He should be playing second base while JP's at short. They have a vibe together. Defensively, they work together well, and offensively when they're in the lineup together. There's kind of a different kind of feeling when he's in the lineup. Pitch fouled off. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Okert to Rivas. Stormbum in the building. What's good? Pitching has been a nightmare for us so far, but, Jeremy Pena, got a nice triple, brought in a couple. Altuve had a solo dinger as a pitch is fouled off here by Rivas, pinch hitting for Miles Mastroboni. But again, I figured that this series is going to go 2-2, but right now, we're looking not so good. And your Stros are looking pretty good so far, but I know that we'll be able to bounce back in some of the other matchups, We got Emerson Hancock on the mound tomorrow, which could be shaky, but we'll see. And then we have Wu, obviously, on Saturday, which I know we're going to win that one. And then the Sunday matchup is Luis Castillo. And it kind of depends on which Castillo we get, the good or the bad. And if we get the good, we're going to win. If we get the bad, we may lose. So we'll see. Pitch is low and at the knees. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Leo Rivas. 3-2 pitch, and Rivas strikes out swinging. 1 away. Okay, Leo. Next up for the Mariners, 1 for 2, third baseman Ben Williamson. Come on, Ben. First pitch from Okert to Williamson, fouled off in the zone, 0-1 count. Yeah, well, you have to pay attention in baseball. And again, if I was betting, I would have never bet on the Mariners in this game with George Kirby making his first start in 2025. Normally a top 20 pitcher overall, but, missed, all of the regular season up to this point because he got injured in spring training with shoulder inflammation. So normally when a guy's been injured all year and makes his first start in late May, chances are he's probably not going to look very good. And the only thing that would have saved us today is if he played bad, if the bats were alive like they were for Houston. Not to say that we can't get to that point, but, it's going to take almost a miracle to come back in this one. Pitch fouled off again by Ben Williamson, 0-2 count. 0-2 pitch, and Okert gets Williamson striking out swinging. Down goes Rivas, down goes Williamson. Okert looking nice, 2 away. Next up for the Mariners, shortstop J.P. Crawford. But you always have to look at all of the details when you're betting, and even when you see those things, sometimes things will slip through the cracks, but it seems like quite a few people bet on the Mariners today. And, if I was a bettor, I would have never bet, on Seattle today, not on someone making their first start of the year. Let me see how he plays a few starts, before I start betting, on Kirby, when he starts for the Mariners. First pitch, takes a strike swinging. Low and away from J.P. Crawford from Okert, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, high and away with a 4-seam fastball, 93 miles an hour from Okert. 1 ball and 1 strike to J.P. Crawford. Come on, J.P. We need somebody to start the rally. Let's go. Come on, Crawdaddy. 1-1 pitch, takes a strike swinging. Big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs and nobody on. Here in the top of the 6th, down 4 runs. Come on, baby. You're going Saturday? Well, we'll see what happens. We got Brian Wu on the mound, so if Wu pitches like he normally does, we're going to win. Don't want to ruin your birthday celebration, going into the game on Saturday. But, if you're an Astro fan, that's the last pitcher that you want to see, the guy that's going to make the All-Star game for the Mariners this year, in Brian Wu. But again, you never know. Wu could have a rough game and the Astros could win. But if I had to put money on it, I would assume that Wu will win that game. And down goes J.P. Crawford, striking out swinging. Wow, back-to-back strikeouts from Okert, and he's looked very, very good as far as relief pitchers for the Astros, all this year. I mean, I've seen quite a few of these guys come in, and, man, he is wheeling and dealing. He mowed down the Mariners there. All right, let's see who's up next here in the bottom of the 6th for the Houston Astros. Next up for the Astros, 2 for 2 with 2 runs and an RBI in the 9-hole, second baseman Mauricio Dubon. And when the 9-hole hitter is 2 for 2, you're probably fucked. Batting second, 1 for 1 with a triple, 2 RBI, Jeremy Pena. He's really the one that opened the game up. And batting third, 0 for 3 with an RBI, third baseman Isaac Paredes. And if we would have pulled Kirby when it was 3-2, he wouldn't have gotten the triple that brought in 2, and we wouldn't have been down 5-2. And then, obviously, a little bit later after that, Altuve with the solo jack to make it 6-2. So, again, it's kind of like, coaching. and being a good manager, and you have to be able to know when to pull a guy. And, elite managers know when to do it, and they do it at the right time 90% of the time. But sometimes, you get a little greedy wanting to stretch out that guy, maybe because the bullpen is injured or they're not very good, and you're just trying to stretch a guy out a little bit longer than they should be out there. But then you run the risk if you stretch a guy out there too long, one or two more batters could end up ending the game for you. And essentially that's what kind of happened to Seattle here, even though the game is not officially over just yet. We have to make sure we keep it under 5 runs. Otherwise, it's going to get really out of hand. And even 6-2 is out of hand. All right, next up here is Mauricio Dubon. Let's see who we have pitching for the Mariners. And we're bringing in Hahn. Golly, we're I don't know what the hell we're doing here today. All right, we'll see what Hahn can do. It has to be better than what fucking Bizzardo did, which was absolutely nothing. All right, Jesse Hahn, do something, baby. First pitch to Mauricio Dubon, takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, grounds out to second, throw to first, 1 away. Next up, 1 for 1 with 2 RBIs and a triple, shortstop Jeremy Pena. And I don't know what Jesse Hahn has got up his sleeve, but hopefully it's something decent. First pitch from Jesse Hahn to Jeremy Pena, takes a strike looking, right down the middle, 0-1 count. Astros 6, Mariners 2 here in the bottom of the 6th. Pitching has not been good for Seattle here today, but I know it'll get better in the series. Big swing and a miss, low and away. Hahn gets Pena to bite, behind in the count now, 0-2. And I get it. You're going to be bringing in like randos because we're already down. But you also have to realize if you bring in randos when you're down, the score could explode and it could end up being to a point where we're not going to come back. Instead of using guys that are good like Brash and Spire to help us at least, contain the bleeding. We're bleeding out. And if you continue to have random guys come in that are kind of jobbers, the game can go from 6-2 to 10-2 in a heartbeat. So, there's a give and a take there. 2 away. Next up is Isaac Paredes. Bottom of the 6th with 2 outs. First pitch to Isaac Paredes, takes a strike looking with a sinker in the zone. 0-1 count. Jesse Hahn on the mound, Paredes in the box. Jacob in the building. What's good? He was not good today. First start of the year in play on the 0-1 pitch, and Paredes gets hit by the pitch there and goes to first. Next up, left fielder Jose Altuve. Can't let him homer again. But Kirby did not look good in his first start in 2025. But that's kind of expected, for anybody. A good pitcher or even a bad pitcher, if they miss, the first couple months of the season, typically that first start, regardless if you're playing a good team or a bad team, it's probably not going to go very well, But on top of that, playing our number 1 rival in the Houston Astros, so. And Paredes gets plunked on the shoulder there. Hopefully he's okay. Bottom of the 6th, runner at first with 2 outs, 6-2 Astro lead. And there it is. Back. See ya. And the second homer of the night, Jose Altuve with a solo jack and now a 2-run homer, and this game is officially over. That's what happens when you are an idiot manager and you end up bringing in jobber pitchers after George Kirby. What do you expect that's going to happen? You think that the score is going to fucking stay the same? And of course not. You bring in fucking Bizzardo and Jesse Hahn. Those are the 2 last guys that you should be bringing into the game. And now instead of the game somewhat being maybe close, if we go on a rally, now we have 0% chance of coming back in this game. We have to hope that we can get to 4 to 5 runs just for our mentals, but we, definitely did not play this game the right way. George Kirby is a big name, but it's his first start. Ended up giving up, 5. And again, on top of that, bringing in Bizzardo and fucking Jesse Hahn, really? And that's what happens. If you end up being down and said, pretty much this game's over, I don't want to use Gabe Spire. I don't want to use Matt Brash. I don't want to use Casey Legomina. I'll save them for the other games. Well, then this is what fucking happens. The lead escalates, and Altuve with a big fucking jack, his second of the game. Nice job, Jose Altuve. I'm not a hater. I see what you did. Next up is Yanier Diaz. No Yordan Alvarez, who's still injured, but should be back possibly tomorrow. Kyle Tucker's on the Cubs. Alex Bregman's on the Red Sox, but it didn't fucking matter. And now a 5-pitch count from Hahn to Yanier Diaz, and that is a walk. Brutal. Pull this guy. Jesus Christ. I mean, what are we trying to do? Let the Astros score 15 tonight? Diaz with the walk. Next up, first baseman Christian Walker. Like, what did the Mariners think? That bringing in Bizzardo and Hahn, that we were going to play good? That we were going to actually climb back into the game with those guys on the mound? Holy hell. First pitch from Jesse Hahn to Christian Walker, fouled off, 0-1 count. Yeah, I saw the game. Knicks up by 9 with, about a minute to go, and they choked. And Halliburton hit that 3 that went up 10 feet on the rim and bounced back in to tie it to go to OT, and then they won in overtime. But unfortunately, for the Pacers and Knicks, they have 0% chance against the Thunder in the finals. But we'll figure out who ends up making it to represent the Eastern Conference. But, based off that Pacer-Knick game in Game 1, it was an entertaining game. And Walker in play, single to right. I mean, again, this managing by Dan Wilson. I mean, when the game was, 5-2, then 6-2. I mean, you have Bizzardo and Hahn coming in. Those should be the 2 last guys fucking coming in. And now the game is 8-2. With runners at first and third with 2 outs, with Caratini in the box, and with 1 swing, we could be down 11-2. This is not good for the mentals for the Seattle Mariner fans. Come on now. Caratini showing that emotion. Let's get that like, baby. Well, obviously they brought in Bizzardo and Jesse Hahn because they didn't want to use any of their good pitchers. It's a 4-game series. So I understand, but God, anybody but those 2, why did it have to be Bizzardo and fucking Hahn? It's like pretty much at that point when you bring those 2 guys in, you've ultimately, raised the white flag. We lost. You just took the L, But if you would have been able to use a couple good pitchers, maybe we find a way to have a nice inning and we can come back. But now mentally, looking up at the scoreboard, being down 6, it's done. We are not coming back. And I'm the most positive, social media, personality that covers the Mariners. Most are, really haters and whatnot. And, I always try to, give a positive attitude in every situation, but you also have to be realistic and understand when you have to take the L. And that's one of these nights here. We'll be lucky if we can even get to 4 to 5 runs before this game is up. Bottom of the 6th, runners at first and third with 2 outs. But the lucky thing is at least it's a 4-game set. And hopefully we can win at least 2 games. And we can split 2-2. But the only way that we were going to win 3 out of 4 is if we won Game 1. And obviously we're not winning today. Pitch fouled off. 2 balls, 2 strikes with runners on the corners, first and third with 2 outs. Jesse Hahn on the mound, who fucking stinks, and Caratini in the box. But we got Emerson Hancock on the mound tomorrow, so that could be kind of shaky, and then we got Wu and Castillo. So it is possible that maybe we lose the first 2 games and win the last 2. But, we'll see. Unless Hancock can get, 6 innings pitched, and he can give up 3 runs or less. And if he does that and the bats come alive, then we'll have a chance tomorrow. But if Emerson Hancock pitches like Kirby today, we're not winning tomorrow unless the bats come alive. And, we're not at home, we're on the road. We won 2 out of 3 against the Astros at home, but playing here in Houston, it's a lot tougher. Pitch is outside. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 pitch and another fucking hit. Caratini singles to left, brings in a run. 9-2 Astros. Jesus Christ, man. 9-2 Stros. Make it stop. But again, this is on, the Mariners management. They said, based on the 5th inning, we give up. And now you're getting blasted. And now the Astros are pacing for 15 runs. Do we really want to lose 15-2? Fuck. Next up, center fielder Jake Myers. But you got to give the Astros credit in this game, even though they're our number 1 rival. Pitching was good for them. Hitting was good. Situational baseball was good. And unfortunately, pitching was not good for us today. Starters or mid-relievers. And the bats, overall, we have had a couple guys get hits, but not enough to match this effort by Houston at home. Kicking our ass and taking names. 9-2 Houston. Yeah, exactly. I wasn't hoping for a game like this either, but again, I was hoping that Kirby would go 4 or 5 innings and give up 3 runs or less. But again, the bad decision not to pull him once we lost the lead when it was 2-0 and then it became 3-2. You should have pulled him there, and they didn't. And then the next batter up, Pena gets the 2-run RBI triple, and then the game was over at that point when it was 5-2. And then you're bringing in these shitty players like Bizzardo and Hahn, and now it's fucking 9-2. Like, what did they expect? They thought that Bizzardo and Hahn were going to be lights out and it was still going to be 5-2. Get the fuck out of here. First pitch from Hahn, 10 feet off the plate, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, 10 feet off the plate, 2-0 count. Fucking A. What am I watching here? Jesus Christ. Captain, you could pitch better than Jesse Hahn. Jesus Christ. Terrible. And the crazy thing is the Mariners haven't really been blown out that often this year. Out of all our games that we've played, we've been blown out less than 5 times all year. It's only been 2 or 3 times that we've been blown out. We're 28-20. So in almost, 48 games, 49 games, we've only been blown out a couple times. But I'll tell you, we were blown out a lot more last year and years past when we couldn't hit. But, being a good hitting team, and seeing shitty pitching and then getting blown out like this, it gives me, it doesn't feel good. It gives me flashbacks to the old school teams that weren't good for the Mariners. Pitches outside, 10 feet off the plate again. 3 balls and 1 strike from Hahn to Jake Myers. 3-1 pitch. Takes a strike looking. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Count now is full. 3-2 count with runners at first and second and 2 outs. And, at this point, you might as well just have Jake Myers hit a 3-run jack and have us be down 12-2. Based on how the Mariners are using the pitchers, they're banking on, saving the rest of the good players for the next 3 games. But, again, if the bats don't come alive, it won't matter. In play, and Myers grounds out to the pitcher, throw to first, and we get out of the inning, but now we're down fucking 7. Christ. All right, let's go to the top of the 7th inning. We are one of the top 3 teams in baseball in the 7th, 8th, and 9th, but fucking A, man, we're down 7 runs. So I think right now we just have to hope that we can get to 4 to 5 runs, so that way it looks better on the scoreboard and use that momentum going into tomorrow based on our bats. But, the chance of the Mariners winning this game is less than 1%. Not good. Next up, for the Mariners, 0 for 3 with 3 Ks. You got to be better than that. Jorge Polanco. Batting second, 1 for 3 with 2 Ks. Catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And batting third, 1 for 2 with a base on ball, left fielder, Randy Arozarena. Let's go Mariners. Now they got King coming in for Okert. All right, Mitch Garver, pinch hitting. We'll see what we get out of Mitch here. Next up is Mitch Garver. Great game for you in game number 1 here in this 4-game set. Garver pinch hitting for Polo. First pitch, inside with the sweeper, 1-0 count from King to Garver. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Mitch Garver. And Mitch doesn't swing at all. I don't know if he's just trying to get a walk every single at-bat, but at some point you're going to need to swing. 1-1 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from King to Garver. 2-1 pitch, and Garver flies out to right. 1 away. Next up for the Mariners, 1 for 3 with 2 Ks. Catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Come on, Cal. Grind it out, baby. Let's see if we can try to get to 4 to 5 runs before this game ends to give us momentum into game number 2. Yeah, but I've watched this team closer than anyone on fucking planet Earth, bro. We're not coming back because we're not even using good bullpen pitchers. We've already pretty much raised the right flag. Again, when you have Bizzardo come in and then Hahn, like those are the 2 last guys that you would have, and so, yeah, the chance of the Mariners coming back is 0. Not happening. I mean, hell, even if we were only down 2 or 3 runs, we probably still wouldn't be able to come back, based on what's happened in this game. We'll take the L in this game, and then again, we have to try to bounce back tomorrow and Saturday. We got Brian Wu on the mound. I know he can win that one. And then Castillo, obviously, on Sunday. So, we have our 2 best pitchers pitching on Saturday and Sunday. And, obviously Kirby was rusty in his first start. And one of our worst pitchers, Emerson Hancock, tomorrow. So you guys might win the first 2 and maybe we'll win the next 2. But that's kind of how I felt the series was going to go, 2-2. We'll just figure out, what happens here. But if Castillo plays bad in that last game on Sunday, Astros could win 3 out of 4. But I'm hoping that we can at least split the series after this rough outing in game number 1. Pitches outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes from King to Cal Raleigh. Come on, Cal. Anything positive, from here on out will help us going into tomorrow. 2-2 pitch, high and away. 3 balls and 2 strikes from King to big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Three-two pitch, fouled off. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Come on, Cal. Top of the 7th, 9-2 Astros. Count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to big dumper, Cal Raleigh. 3-2 pitch. Sweeper fouled off. Count remains still 3-2. My pup is wanting a back scratch now. In play. And there we go. Cal Raleigh singles to center. And again, the game has not been pretty, but you want to make sure that you're recognizing effort even in situations where things are not going your way. You can learn a lot about a player on how they play when you're down. Not everything is going to be, peaches and cream. You got to be able to keep grinding it out even when you're getting your ass kicked by 7. Next up is left fielder Randy Arozarena. First pitch, high and away to Randy. 1-0 count from King. Come on, Randy. One 0 pitch. Takes a strike looking in the zone on the corner. 1 ball and 1 strike from King to Randy Arozarena. Top of the 7th, 9-2 Astros. 1-1 pitch. Takes a strike looking high and inside on that corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Come on, Randy. One-two pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from King to Randy Arozarena. Come on, Randy. 2-2 pitch, fouled off. Count remains 2-2 with a runner at first. Cal Raleigh. We're in the top of the 7th, down 7 with 1 away. King on the mound, Randy Arozarena in the box. Two-two pitch. Inside at the knees. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first, Cal Raleigh, and 1 out. King on the mound and Randy in the box. And I'm just really hoping that we can get to 4 or 5 runs before the game is over. That'll help us going into tomorrow's matchup with our worst starter on the mound, Emerson Hancock. And again, if Emerson gives up 3 runs or less, we'll have a chance. And there we go. Randy Arozarena singles to left. Cal to second. Now we got runners at first and second and 1 out. When next up is Rowdy Tellez. Now, if Rowdy could homer, they're going to bring in Donovan Solano. Brutal. As I say, if Rowdy was up, maybe something good can happen. But now they're bringing in Donovan Solano. So you're more than likely going to hit into a double play or something crazy here. So, but hopefully Donovan can maybe not swing and maybe we can find a way for him to get on base. Take a walk or something. I mean, if the Padres want him back, we can give it to him back for free, but, it is what it is. Top of the 7th, runners at first and second with 1 out. Donovan Solano now pinch hitting for Rowdy Tellez, which Rowdy was hitting, because with 1 swing, it could be 9-5. We're still going to lose, but it looks a hell of a lot better on the scoreboard. And again, you want to see how players play when you're down. Are they giving up and wondering what's for dinner and where I'm going to go get a drink or, what I'm going to do later tonight? Or are they focused on the game, And you can definitely tell with body language and effort and hustle who still is trying and who's not. Nathan in the building. What's good? Yeah, they already waved the white flag by bringing in Brazzardo, and they didn't pull George when they needed to, when they took the lead at 3-2 and he was getting roughed up. And, they pretty much just let the game go and gave up in the 5th inning. And there it is. Donovan Solano grounds out into the double play. And you know how hard it is to ground out into a double play when you have runners at first and second? It's easy to do it when there's a runner at first and that's it, or a runner's at first and third and it gets hit right up the middle. You have to be a real special shitty hitter for guys to be at first and second and then to hit into a double play. But of course, we're talking about Donovan Solano. Jesus Christ. It's like I almost knew that was going to happen. My ESP was right. Brutal. You stink. All right, let's see who's up next here in the bottom of the 7th. Next up is right fielder in the 8-hole, Cam Smith. Batting second in the 9-hole, second baseman, Mauricio Dubon. And then batting third, back at the top of the order, Jeremy Pena. Let's go Mariners. Nothing like a Donovan Solano to end a drive. What's good, Nathan? How are you? There we go. Let's see if we can get to 60 before the game ends. Good job, Captain. You're doing a great job. Anything else you want to see photo-wise other than George Kirby? I know things have not gone the way that we wanted, but luckily, we've only been blown out a couple times in like 50 games. Like you go back and look at the games in the last 5 years on how many times that we've been blown out, on the channel. So yeah, it doesn't look good. We're not going to come back and win, but at least if we can get to 4 to 5 runs, that'll show a lot of heart, going into game number 2 with our worst starter on the mound, Emerson Hancock. And again, if he gives up more than 3 runs, unless the bats come alive, we're probably fucked. So we have to hope that Hancock has a decent start, gives up 3 or less, and then hopefully the bats can come alive and we can match the effort with Houston. Otherwise, we could have a similar score in game 1 and game 2. But I feel pretty confident in game 3 and game 4 with Wu and Castillo on the mound. We should be more competitive in those 2 games, but, we'll see how everything goes. And now we have Colin Snyder coming in. Golly. Brutal outing for pitchers. Probably the worst performance that we've seen from pitching almost all year. George Kirby making his first start, getting fucked up. Then bringing in Bizzardo, terrible. Then Jesse Hahn, even worse. And now we're bringing in Colin Snyder. Like, we're literally bringing in all the shitty players besides George Kirby starting. Like, hard, but again, it's like you don't really want to waste anybody. At this point, you want to save them for the next 3 games. So it's not like you're going to see Brash or Munoz or Gabe Spire, Legomina. You got to save those guys for the next 3 outings. No, I don't think we rushed Kirby back. It's just unfortunate, maybe for Kirby that we had to play our number 1 rival on the road for his first game, back and whatnot. I mean, obviously, if we would have played some shitty team, like the White Sox again, or the Angels or something of that nature, even though they've been kind of hot as of late, just a team that Marlins, something like that, then maybe it would have been a little bit easier, with the skill set of the opposing team not as good in the box. But Kirby's already been out all year. I mean, he had shoulder inflammation and he missed fucking 50 games, like a third of the season. So obviously it was more than just shoulder inflammation, but we'll see how it goes, and hopefully he'll get better as the season goes on, because we already have guys that are shaky. Bryce Miller, injured, but when he was healthy or on the field, not really healthy, but back and elbow issues, he wasn't good. Logan Evans, is good 50% of the time. Hancock, he's not very good either. Luis Castillo has been good, Brian Wu has been good, and Logan Gilbert was good when he was healthy. So, but right now it's like we need the guys to be healthy, and we only have like a couple guys in the pen that are trustworthy. The rest are not. Snyder on the mound, Smith in the box, pitch fouled off, 2 balls and 1 strike from Snyder to Smith. Like, Legomina is trustworthy, right? Matt Brash is trustworthy. Gabe Spire is trustworthy. And Andres Munoz, our closer, the best closer in baseball, with an ERA of 0 with like 50 games into the season. He's an all-star. He's trustworthy, but we got a lot of other guys that are very, very shaky and untrustworthy. Pitches outside, low and away. 3 balls and 1 strike from Snyder to Smith. But no, I don't think we rushed Kirby back. I mean, fucking A, he's already been out 50 fucking games. It's just unfortunate that it was the Astros for his first start back. Tough opponent on the road on top of that. Pitch fouled off. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Snyder to Smith. Bottom of the 7th, 9-2 Astro lead. Nobody on, no outs, 3-2 count. And Smith strikes out swinging. Nice job by Colin Snyder, 1 away. Down goes Cam. Next up, second baseman, 2 for 3 with 2 runs and an RBI, Mauricio Dubon, who's had himself a good game here today. First pitch from Snyder to Dubon, low and away with the sweeper, 1-0 count. Bottom of the 7th, 9-2 Astros. I mean, luckily this is going to be a 4-game set, so we're still going to have a chance to win 2, hopefully out of 4. Head-to-head since 2021, 36 wins for the Astros, 34 for the Mariners as Dubon pops out to first. 3.8 runs a game for Seattle, 3.9 for the Astros. Batting average is 222 for the Mariners, 240 for the Astros. But again, this is really the best team that we've had. You know, we used to not be able to hit in 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. You know, we were one of the worst teams at hitting with one of the worst team batting averages, 180 to 220, and the number 1 strikeout team. But now we're, you know, a top 5 hitting team, and we don't strike out nearly as much. And just kind of an off game here, you know, especially with the pitching. Probably the worst pitching performance I've seen all year. And Jeremy Pena, first pitch, flies out to right, and that's the end of the 7th inning. Good job by Colin Snyder, really the only pitcher today that has done anything. All right, let's see who's up next here for the Mariners in the top of the 8th. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 3 with 2 Ks, center fielder filling in for Julio, Leody Taveras. Batting second, 1 for 3 with a run and an RBI, had a solo dinger early, Dylan Moore. And batting third, filling in for Miles Mastrobuoni, Leo Rivas. Oh, what a day, what a day, what a day. Let's go to the top of the 8th inning. We're down 7. We got to try to get to at least 4 or 5 runs if possible. But realistically, we'll probably just get 1 more or none. You know, I'm not sure if the players are still trying at this point. I hope they are. All right, come on, Leody. No action is a wasted action. Even my pup can't look at the screen. She said this game is bad. But luckily we got 3 games in a row after this. And so we got Emerson Hancock on the mound tomorrow, which is a wild card. Brian Wu, the all-star this year, our best pitcher, our number 1 on Saturday. And then Luis Castillo, who's been good for us this year, on Sunday. So if we can just find a way to win tomorrow and compete, you know, it's still possible that the Mariners could win, you know, 2 or 3 games. But we'll have to wait and find out. Top of the 8th, 9-2 Astros. Nice, we hit 52, 8 more likes to get to 60. Let's see if we can get to 60 before this game ends. First pitch to Leody Taveras from Ort. Takes a strike looking on the line, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch in play, and Leody flies out to center, 1 away. Down goes Leody Taveras. Next up, 1 for 3 with a run in an RBI, solo dinger, second baseman Dylan Moore. Let's go, Demo. Homer to center in the bottom of the 2nd to give us a 2-0 lead, but it's been pretty light since then. You know, we were pretty good in those first 2 innings and nothing really since then. First pitch high and away to Demo, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch in play, and Demo singles to left. At least someone's trying for the Mariners. Nice job, Dylan. We got a runner at first now. Next up, Leo Rivas. Come on, Leo. I wonder if he'll drop a butt down. Let's go, baby. Not looking good, but let's still fight here all the way to the end. Top of the 8th inning, 9-2 Astros. Runner at first with 1 out. Next up is 0 for 1 with a K, Leo Rivas. Come on, Leo. First pitch to Leo Rivas from Ort. High and away. 4-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch, high and away with a cutter. 2 balls and no strikes from Ort to Rivas. Come on, Leo. Try to get to at least 4 or 5 runs here. At the very least, get to 3. So that way it looks a little bit better on the scoreboard. I mean, 9-2 looks terrible. 9-3 is still terrible, but it's better than 9-2. I want to see who's actually going to, put up a fight when we're in a bad situation. Top of the 8th, runner at first with 1 out. 2-0 count from Ort to Rivas. Two-0 pitch, takes a strike looking low and away with that sweeper by Ort. 2 balls and 1 strike with a runner at first and 1 out. Ort on the mound, Rivas in the box. Two-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 3 balls and 1 strike to Leo Rivas. Come on, Leo. Come on, Mariner Moose. We need a rally. And there we go. Good eye by Leo Rivas, and he draws a walk. Demo to second, Rivas to first. Now we got runners at first and second with 1 out. This could be, decent here for the Mariners with a little bit of a comeback. Not going to win, but, at least showing some effort late in the matchup. Next up is third baseman Ben Williamson, 1 for 3 and a K. Let's see if Ben can get an RBI here and get us something positive since we haven't really had anything since the 2nd inning. In play. And Williamson flies out to right, 2 away. Wish he was able to work that count a little bit more. Still love you, Big Ben. And now we're back at the top of the order. Shortstop, J.P. Crawford. He's definitely overdue for a homer. It would be awesome if we could end up getting a 3-run blast to make it 9-5. That looks a lot better on the scoreboard and would give us some momentum. 0 for 3 with a run, base on ball, and 2 Ks. This would be a great time for a 3-run jack from J.P. Crawford. But even an RBI single, I'll take that. Anything positive here late. First pitch, takes a strike looking in the zone. 0-1 count from Ort to JP. Top of the 8th with runners at first and second and 2 outs. Let's try to see if we can get at least a run or 2 before this game ends. Come on now. 9-3, 9-4, 9-5. All of that is better than 9-2. Big swing and a miss on an 0-1 count. Now behind the count, 0-2 for J.P. Crawford. Come on, J.P. (0-2) pitch, and big swing and a miss. Down goes J.P. Crawford, and let's go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Leaving 2 stranded again. Brutal. Next up for the Astros, 0 for 3 with a run and an RBI, third baseman Isaac Paredes. Batting second, left fielder with 2 home runs today, having himself a game, 2 for 3 with 2 runs and 4 RBIs, Jose Altuve. And batting third, 1 for 3 with a run, base on ball, and 2 Ks, DHing Yanier Diaz. And I'm not sure if they're going to let Snyder stay in the game or not, but we'll find out. But everything has been superior for the Astros today. Starting pitching, relief pitching, hitting, for not only hit, but for power. It's been all Astros. being a sub on this stream. Appreciate that. 89 subs to go to 20,900. Let's go, baby. And 189 to get to 21,000. Let's go, baby. Bottom of the 8th inning, 9-2 Astros. Next up is Isaac Paredes. And Gabe Spire is entering the matchup, so I guess we are going to see Gabe because they're just running out of players now. All right, Gabe. Let's have a good outing here. Try to mow him down. All right, first pitch from Gabe Spire to Isaac Paredes, low and away. 1-0 count to Paredes. Bottom of the 8th, 9-2 Astros. 1-0 pitch, fouled off right down the middle from Gabe Spire. 1 ball and 1 strike to Isaac Paredes. Bottom of the 8th, down by 7. Got to find a way to try to manufacture at least something in the 9th. But we might end up just staying at this 2-run number for this matchup. 1-1 pitch, takes a strike looking in the zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Spire to Paredes. One-two pitch, four-seam fastball fouled off. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. We're in the bottom of the 8th, and this game has been dominated from beginning to end by the Astros. We had a pretty good first and second inning to give us the 2-0 lead, but it's been all Astros from the 3rd inning on. Pitch is low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Spire to Paredes. We got 3 games against the Astros after this. Emerson Hancock, Brian Wu, and Luis Castillo. So, again, I don't think we're going to lose like this for the rest of the series. And if we were to lose like this again, it would be tomorrow. But I think the bats will be better tomorrow than just 2 runs. Pitch fouled off. Count remains still 2 balls, 2 strikes with no outs. Spire on the mound and Paredes in the box. Come on, Gabe, finish strong. Come on, Mariners. Keep fighting. In play on the 2-2 pitch. And Paredes grounds out to third, throw to first, 1 away. Next up, 2 for 3 with 2 runs and 4 RBIs, 2 homers in this game, Jose Altuve. And the last thing that you want is to give up 3 home runs to Jose Altuve. But if there was a player that could hit 3 in a game on the Astros that's not named Yordan Alvarez, it's definitely Altuve. In play on the first pitch and popped out to first, 2 away. We got lucky there. Down goes Altuve. Next up, DHing for the Astros, 1 for 3 with a run, base on ball, and 2 Ks, DHing Yadier Diaz. Come on, Gabe, 1 more out. Let's go. First pitch low and away to Yanier Diaz, 1-0 count. But luckily, we've only had maybe 2 or 3 games all year that have been over by like the 5th inning. So it's, this is not something that happens to us on a regular basis, thank God, because, it's hard for people at home to watch, but even harder for someone like me that has to, complete the game after we're just bleeding out every single inning since the 3rd inning. But again, I know it'll be better tomorrow. 1-0 pitch, fouled off in the zone from Spire. 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody on and 2 outs. Diaz in the box, Spire on the mound. Yeah, and obviously Julio not being in the lineup really fucking hurt us. And I think if Julio was in the lineup, maybe we lose like 9-5, but in play, and Diaz singles to center, but maybe Julio makes some plays in center field. Maybe he steals a couple bags. Maybe he hits a home run or gets a single or a double or a triple. Like, we definitely missed Julio's presence in the game today for sure. Nice base knock there by Diaz. Next up is Christian Walker. 1 for 4 with 2 Ks for Christian Walker. And hopefully Julio was, just battling maybe a stomach bug, flu, cold, maybe just had a minor injury, that wasn't too serious, but hopefully we get Julio in the lineup tomorrow. We're going to need him. Because if Julio doesn't play the rest of the series, we're probably only going to win 1 game, maybe the Brian Wu matchup on Saturday. So we definitely need Julio in the lineup to give us a chance. 0-1 pitch, takes a strike looking after fouling off the first pitch from Christian Walker. Now Spire ahead of the count on Walker, 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 2 outs. Diaz at first, the DH. And we just need to get out of this inning, hopefully unscathed, so it doesn't reach double digits. All we need is a bloop and a blast 4 times. Agreed. Anything else I can do photo-wise for you? After I brought up some of the photos, I think you dipped and whatnot. Anything else you want to be able to see? Let me know. I appreciate you. Let's go to the top of the 9th inning. Last chance here for the Mariners. All we need is 7 runs. No big deal. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 1, Mitch Garver. Batting second, 2 for 4 with 2 Ks, catcher, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And batting third, 2 for 3 with a base on ball, left fielder, Randy Arozarena. All right, Mariners, come on now. Let's see if we can get to at least 3, but 4 would be great. But at this point, the body language of the players, everyone is, pretty much, waved the white flag in the 5th inning after they went up 5-2, and it progressively got worse and worse with Bizardo and Hahn coming in, and then you knew that we had no chance of coming back at that point. But luckily, it's a 4-game series, not a 3-game series, and even though we have our worst pitcher as a starter on the mound tomorrow, I think the game will be better, than what we're seeing here today. And then obviously I got the utmost confidence in Wu and Castillo on Saturday and Sunday. So even if we end up losing tomorrow, we can win the last 2 and split 2-2. And that's kind of how I felt that the series was going to go anyways, but I was just hoping that Kirby was going to pitch well. And if he played well today, I thought that we would have a good chance for maybe 3 out of 4. But after dropping the first game, I think the best thing that we can ask for is probably split 2-2. No problem, man. I appreciate your love and support to the channel. All right, come on, Garv. Show me something. Top of the 9th inning, 9-2 Stros. But at least in, 8 games, 49 games, we've only been blown out like this 2 or 3 times. So first pitch, low and away with a 4-seam fastball, 1-0 count from Ort to Garver. 1-0 pitch, high and away. No. Low and away, 2-0 count. Come on, Garv. Still tridents up till I die, baby. Let's go. You got to give the Astros credit. The bats came alive. Starting pitching was great. Bullpen was great. They had hits for power. And obviously, some nice singles for base knocks. The complete game for the Astros today. Takes a strike looking. No. Big swing and a miss by Garv. 2 balls and 1 strike to Mitch Garver. 2-1 pitch. And Garver singles to left. There you go. Nice job, Garv. At least someone's trying here late in the matchup. Nice job, Mitch Garver. Next up, catcher Big Dumper Cal Raleigh. And if Cal can homer here, yeah, we lost. But 9-4 looks a hell of a lot better on the scoreboard than 9-2. And then we got Randy Arozarena on deck. Come on, Cal and Randy. Do something. Yeah, epic comeback. First comeback, being down by that amount of points. It's like, the first time a team has come back in that scenario in like 1,400 NBA games. If you're up by 8 or 9 points with like 40 seconds to a minute left, you should win. But again, big choke job. And then Halliburton with that nice pullback 3 that went up in the air 10 feet and dropped back into the hoop to force OT. And then they took care of that momentum and that Uncle Mo that they got off that shot and then ended up winning that game. They may not win the series, but definitely was an exciting game, number 1. But unfortunately for the Knicks and the Pacers, they have 0% chance against the Thunder. The Thunder are winning the championship. Just like how SGA got MVP, there's not a team that's good enough to beat them with these teams that are left. T-Wolves will probably win a game or 2. Pacers and Knicks could go 7 games, but by that time, they're going to tire out. And, I feel the Thunder are going to win probably in 5 or 6 games. So, depending on who they play. If they play the Pacers, they're going to win in 5. If they play the Knicks, they'll probably win in 6. Top of the 9th, with a runner at first, Big Dumper in the box. Come on, Cal. Pitch out of the zone. 2 balls and 1 strike to Big Dumper. Pitch fouled off. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Ort to Big Dumper, Cal Raleigh. 2-2 pitch. High and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Cal Raleigh. Give me 1 run. Let's get it to 9-3 or 9-4. Come on, Cal. Top of the 9th with runner at first, Mitch Garver, no outs. Count is full. And big swing and a miss. Cal Raleigh strikes out, 1 away. That's tough. I still love you, Cal. Still pacing for 55 homers, 100 runs, and 120 ribbies. You're the man. Next up, 2 for 4. No. 2 for 3 with a base on ball, Randy Arozarena. See if Randy's got any magic in that bat. If he can go yard here and we can go 9-4, that would be awesome. First pitch takes a strike looking in the zone. 0-1 count. Top of the 9th, Mitch Garver at first with 1 out. And it's been all Astros since the 3rd inning on. We had a 1-0 lead in the first, a 2-0 lead in the second, and we haven't done anything since. I mean, besides bring in shitty pitchers and let the Astros beat our ass. 0-1 pitch. High and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Ort to Randy Arozarena. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss by Randy Arozarena. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 1 out. Ort on the mound. Randy in the box. Come on, Randy. This might be the first game I haven't seen him get plunked, but that bat isn't over. Pitch is low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Ort to Randy. Top of the 9th, 9-2 Stros. Randy is 2 for 3 today, but we definitely missed Julio in the lineup. Now, if it was like the March or April Julio, it wouldn't have mattered, but the Julio in May has been much, much better. And Randy Arozarena strikes out swinging, 2 away. All right, now we're down to our last batter, Donovan Solano, which you know is not going to get anything. Yes, Paisley, I see you. In play for Donovan Solano and lined out to right, and that is the game. No point of even putting up his photo. He's not even worthy of a photo. Final score, Houston Astros 9, Seattle Mariners 2. Again, one of the worst games for the Mariners in 2025. We typically do not get blown out. It's only happened 2 or 3 times here in the first 49 games. But again, you got to give our main number one rival credit. Again, inning 1 and inning 2 was good for Seattle when we were up 2-0, but inning 3 on was all Houston. And again, hopefully we can bounce back tomorrow with Emerson Hancock on the mound. If he gives up 3 runs or less, I know we're going to have a chance. Shout out to all the people that liked, subbed, donated, commented, shared. I appreciate you guys very, very much. Unfortunate, circumstances here late, but shout out to Captain, Reflect, and Flying Monk for the support. I appreciate you guys. Captain, you're the man. And again, we'll be live tomorrow for the matchup, and Emerson Hancock will be on the mound. After that will be Brian Wu on Saturday, and then Luis Castillo La Piedra on Sunday. Oh, brutal loss, but I know we'll be able to bounce back. I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. I'm going to go walk my pup and eat some dinner and forget about this game and move on to tomorrow. And I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Tridents up. Go Mariners.